Hello, everyone, and welcome to Beyond Avernus. I am DM Steve, and with me is the Alleged Five. Go ahead and say hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Hello,
I
everyone.
hate you guys with a passion week after week.
Me too, Steve.
Yeah. We do have a well, we're gonna be going into a new layer tonight, which is cool. I know that the first thing we gotta start tonight with is we gotta give our big condolences to Rick and his Green Bay Packers, who did not manage to make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Rick.
We're sorry for you.
Me too.
I'm sorry the coaching staff made a bad decision, and instead of going for 6 points, they tried to kick it. I'm sorry.
Listen, I know everyone's gonna give that coach a lot of flack for taking the field goal, but the Packers had so many tries to get it in, and they couldn't.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers on the play before that could have ran it into the end zone without being touched. Instead, he threw it to a guy that had two men laying on him.
Two people on him, yeah.
So
I mean,
But unless you can kick a field goal to tie it or win it,
right.
You still have to go in and still make a touchdown.
Mike.
They should have went for it.
No,
Mike, you're
I
so
agree.
Right.
It was, and I don't say this very often, but that I understand why he did what he did, but at that where they were to score, they should have went with it on fourth.
Yeah, they had a choice between going for it and failing and losing by 5, or not going for it and losing by 3, or no, losing by 8 or 5.
Yeah,
like they were going to lose no matter what they did.
You're giving Tom Brady the ball back with 2 minutes left in the game. Like, you're not getting the ball back.
And he's hardly throwing the ball because he's passing. He's doing interceptions too much.
He threw 3 interceptions.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, and plus, sucks. Yeah. So that was the field goal call notwithstanding, that was a terrible call. But come on, Aaron Rodgers. He's the one that really choked in that situation, I think. How many times I saw guys wide open that he just didn't notice?
Well, in his defense, his offensive line was just letting people walk all over.
Oh, they were.
He was running around the field the entire day. He was tired. He was stressed out. I understand why you make a mistake in the fourth quarter after your offensive line has just been letting people get you all day.
Sure. I was just that one play. I cannot forgive the not running it in because, come on, it was. I don't know. Yeah, that was the difference between going into the Super Bowl and not. So now we have to deal with Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, and for the rest of time we have to hear about how Tom Brady is the greatest of all time, and now there's no counter argument, and I have to finally hear and now admit for the first time that yes, Tom Brady is probably the greatest of all time. If you know me, you know how much I hate to admit that.
Does that mean you don't have to cheer for Tom Brady this Super Bowl, Steve?
What about him?
Does that mean you're going to cheer for him this Super Bowl?
Oh, probably not. I will definitely be cheering against Tom Brady. But the fact that he has a chance to come in and win is pretty awesome.
First time ever, too. First time ever that they're going to get home field. They're going to
home field. The first time
in Super Bowl history.
Which makes the article I read that said no teams allowed into Tampa until 2 days before Super Bowl kind of an awkward situation for Tampa Bay.
Well, I just want to say thanks everyone for coming to our sports ball podcast. Good podcast tonight. Good night, everybody.
Beyond NFL. Yeah.
Beyond playoffs.
I should have made you guys play a little D&D football game for.
It doesn't work. I've tried it. It doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
Of course, Tyler would know.
Because I needed a one-off for a week, and I tried have my players play a little football thing. It just doesn't
work.
It breaks.
Have you ever played?
We're using the Cowboys.
Have you ever played Blood Bowl?
That's cool.
Oh, I think I've seen it. Yeah.
It's like a football board game, like fantasy football board game. Some variation of that would probably be where I would start if I wanted to do something like that. But yeah, I think you're right.
I would just end up playing the D&D version of NFL Blitz, and that's just fun.
That guy in chat is saying, "Isn't D&D football just Blood Bowl?" Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So
D&D great idea. It would make billions of dollars, honestly.
So, moving through NFL football, let's move on to Dungeons and Dragons, because there's another cool thing going on tonight, which is we have a guest in the house. Tonight we're going to be joined by Nina. So say hello to Nina, everyone.
Hello, Nina.
Hi. Hi.
Nina might be AFK right now. If she, I know she's taking care of some last minute stuff, and her character's not on right away, so she'll join us at a future moment when she pops in. But she is playing a character named Cersei tonight. So
very cool.
That should be fun.
I'll do my best not to yell shame at her when she comes on.
ring. Let's see, what else did I want to cover? Yeah, if you haven't seen our Pathfinder games, Nina's been playing in our Pathfinder games on Wednesday night. So a long time ago, once upon a time, like when we were still playing Descent into Avernus, there was some talks about having Nina come in to play Zariel for me. And we had talked about that a little bit and put some ideas in motion. And then at the end of our campaign, you guys went from like the companion straight to like facing off against Zariel much faster than I anticipated, and it kind of wrapped up quicker, so that didn't happen. But I've wanted to get her as a guest in the show in some capacity since that time, and tonight seems to be a good chance. So I'm excited to have Nina here. Yeah. So let's go ahead and go around and introduce ourselves and our characters in case people don't know who we are or what we do. Like, I am DM Steve. I am the DM for this game, this godforsaken romp through the 9 layers of hell that has been. I've made some. We've had some adjustments, let's say, because I realize my characters are basically epic gods at this point that can do whatever they want and bend reality to their whim, and things like walking is like totally beneath them, and that's an adjustment I had to make. So thanks for that lesson, guys. Speaking of ruining GM plans, Tyler, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Tyler. I'm an accident. No, I'm playing Zeke, a crab person or crab human semi-hybrid druid. And yeah, I think Marius has a point. Walking is kind of lame.
It kind of is. He had the right idea. Why don't you just all attune to the sword?
We like Captain Planet to the sword.
All right, Mike, why don't you introduce yourself and who you're playing?
Hi, Mike. I'm playing a Tiefling Warlock from Lurkwood Forest. And my patron is Maliki, the goddess of the forest.
Okay. Jordan.
Hi, I'm Jordan, aka Marius. And before I get into my character, I want to say that we all know and love DM Steve here, but I've met player Steve, and that son of a bitch survives pretty much whatever you throw at him. So it was a joy and a pleasure to DM for him last Friday.
That's a good point. That was something I forgot to talk about, because Jordan was kind enough to run a game of Delta Green on Friday night, and I got to take off the DM hat and put on the player hat, and that was very fun. And I may or may not have defied the odds to survive.
I think this whole joke of defying gravity, or not gravity, but reality, player Steve did that himself. So player Steve has no room to talk.
Well, because I didn't have any weapons, and the rest of my crew needed to like.
You did have a weapon. Tell them what happened.
I had a screwdriver.
How big was the screwdriver?
A miniature screwdriver, one that you like screw computer electronics with, like an inch and a half, and that was my weapon because I was a computer nerd. And we got to the part of the adventure where it was fight time, and this weird creature stepped out of like another dimension and started charging at us. And at first, I ran away because I didn't want to engage it. But then I realized I had nothing to do, so I swallowed my like pride or my fear, turned around, and just with my little tiny screwdriver walked at this creature and went toe to toe with it. And the creature tried to like tear through me, and could not touch me.
Because you were dodging.
Well, my dodge roll failed.
Right.
But I was trying to dodge at least. And
luckily, it was the dimensional shifter from the AP and not from the book, because the one from the book would have eaten you for breakfast.
Oh, I'm sure.
And then a chain gun got opened up on the creature from a Apache helicopter, and somehow player Steve, aka James Anderson, aka Infosex, dodged that one with a critical success and was able to not die from the chain gun.
Yeah, I rolled like in Delta Green, you have like a target number. So if my dodge is 30% chance success, you roll a D100 and aim for under that number. And I rolled an 11, which was double ones, which was a critical success.
Yep,
and
it was good stuff.
The only way I could have survived in that situation, probably that roll.
Yeah. Was a critical success. You 100% would have died otherwise, because it was an area of effect shot.
Yeah.
That was a pleasure. Thank you again. If we play some more in the future, I'll definitely keep you in mind. But in this game, I play an ASMR who's been transformed into a mortal angel. And a bit of a prima donna, doesn't walk, which I think the rest of the crew is realizing is the way to go. And I'm here to kill evil stuff and chew bubblegum, but I'm all out of bubblegum.
Uh-oh. You guys don't have enough money to buy as much bubblegum as you need. Come on.
No, then no. I need to kill evil.
All right. Up next, Rick.
Hey guys, I'm Rick. I play Hallandar, the Shadow Elf, Horizon Walker, Ranger / champion fighter, who is on his life's journey to go find some things deeper into hell. Thanks for coming with me, guys.
Hey man, you kill everything by looking at it. So what else were we gonna do?
He doesn't even have to look at it anymore, actually, Jordan.
Oh, that's true.
He just has to know it exists.
And then it dies.
We actually got kind of scared there were some children on the boat because he just fired around the corner, but it was fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to shoot into that room. Okay.
I'll yell again. I'm shooting into that room. If you get hit, it's your fault. Just letting loose.
And then Brianna.
Hi, I'm Brianna. I play Ava. Ava is a ASMR, rogue, and cleric. And adding on to what Jordan said, I also had the pleasure or I don't know, punishment of having player Steve in a campaign, and I couldn't kill him because he decided to take a boon from an ancient forbidden god that let him reincarnate. So at least I got my comeuppance and made his character reincarnate into the character's most hated race. So I feel like that counts for something.
It does.
I'd call that a critical success.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun too. So tonight we are jumping into our regularly scheduled program, because last week was kind of like a filler episode in an anime. It's like, oh, we're advancing the story. Now we're going to stop and cut away and go fight a dragon on the side, which was a lot of fun. And I realized, like, as I was like, reviewing it, I probably should have given that dragon like twice as many hit points as it had, just to give you guys a challenge, because you guys are like freaking powerful. Because I was thinking about it, like, some of you guys were pretty low, I'll give that to you, but two of you guys had Death Ward that didn't even trigger. And some, like, Hal didn't take any damage. And I'm like, man, I need to find a way to turn things up to even like a higher deadly setting.
Now, knock on wood, but aside from Ava getting hit by that magical sleep effect from the trap, I can't remember the last time one of us went unconscious without just wanting to go to bed.
Yeah. It's probably true. Probably not.
Now that I've cursed us
very often.
Yeah, what the hell, Tyler?
Well,
I want to feel like I'm doing my job sometimes, okay, Jordan? My job is, I'm more than a fog cloud. I'm a crab.
But it has been hard to challenge you guys. So We'll see if I can maybe do that tonight. Hopefully. Well, maybe not, because I gave you guys an ally. So now you guys, I was like, here's your hard challenge, but I gave you guys a 6 PC. So like,
it just
the
means
last
that
time he gave us another PC, we ended up starting making death threats toward him. Like every time we started the stream.
That's true.
Yeah, and that person almost got us killed. Remember?
yeah, we have a reputation to keep up.
Yeah.
No, see, now the plan is for Cersei, we just accept her as a member of the group immediately, so that way Arthur gets mad.
You're our best friend.
One giant ploy to anger Arthur and just poke the bear as much as possible.
Yeah, and instantly, like, we just rename ourselves to the Alleged Six. Even Lulu didn't get that treatment. You guys spent a lot of time.
We can't replace Lulu.
Yeah. Well, you can still call Lulu one more time, Ava, right? You have the feather.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you just want to like call like summon Zariel and Lulu, not for like combat or anything strenuous, just for like a tea party.
Yeah.
That sounds adorable. Holophants are celestials. Damn it. That makes sense. And I should have expected that.
Yes, you should.
Damn it.
Were you trying to shapeshift into it? Well, you have 9th level spells now. Can't you do like true polymorph into Holophant?
Drew doesn't get true polymorph.
Oh.
But shape change doesn't need to be a beast.
No, yeah, shape change, that's the other one, right?
I could just shape change into a Holophant, but that just seems kind of cruel and intentionally hurtful at that point. So what I'm saying is I'll do it, but later.
Yeah. Okay. You guys all leveled up to 17 since last week, right? There was no outstanding questions about anything that we needed to clear up before we jump into playing?
Asmodeus gets my soul at level 20, right? That's what we definitely agreed on. We've said multiple times, right?
I'm pretty sure it was 16.
I don't know, guys. Back me up here, right? It was 20. Level 21, actually.
It was level 1.
Oh no!
No, that was Ava. Look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Wow, it hurts. It hurts because it's true. No, we just have to cast Death Ward on Ava and Zeke every freaking day.
I might just have Asmodeus show up and counterspell it every time.
Oh, you bastard!
Oh.
No, that would be really mean. Actually, he wouldn't counterspell Ava's, but he might counterspell Zeke. Or just spell magic it at least. Like, you're at 1 hit point and he shows up and just casts a spell magic.
If you make me roll a D100 when Death Ward would pop off, I'm going to be very scared. I'm not going to roll a double digits. Yeah. It's going to be another 9. It's divine intervention, but for Asmodeus.
Yeah, the opposite. Well, I mean, he's kind of divine, so it's still kind of a divine intervention. Plus, like, your higher level, so it'd be easier to get divine intervention now, right? Because it's your level or lower.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is it your level or your level in cleric? I think it's your level in cleric, right?
I think it's cleric level. Yeah.
What is Ava's current class spread?
Oh my god.
9 rogue, 8 cleric.
Okay. Are you going to 10 cleric before the end of the campaign? Is that the goal?
I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see.
And 10 is when you get divine intervention, right?
Yep.
So there's a chance that we could have another divine intervention this game.
If it fails, you can just try again tomorrow.
Steve? Oh!
Wait.
One away.
Insane. Also,
One away.
Fun fact. Divine intervention says normally it's your cleric level or lower, but at 20th level, not cleric level. Well, okay, probably cleric level.
It's
the
the capstone, so probably you only get it at 20th cleric level.
Let me double check the table.
Okay, while he's checking that, I need to ask a ruling, Steve. I guess some point between this game and last game, I switched my subclass from Marshal or whatever it's called to Battlemaster to Echo Knight, and I'm pretty sure you're not cool with that.
There's just another merit.
I would say that.
Should I change it back?
I mean, I'm not that opposed to Echo Knight, but I would not allow the echoes to give
right,
flanking.
yeah, that was Yeah, no, that was a mistake.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, Jordan and I did talk about that, and
well, at the time,
not according to rules.
Well, at the time it came out, like it was still unknown because it had just come
Mhm.
out, and there wasn't really a lot of people like rolling it yet. We were probably one of the first people to play with that class, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So makes sense.
Before it was cool, yeah, naturally.
Yeah, I think if I was running it, like the echo would be very apparently like an echo, and not like it wouldn't
like a
be like, oh, I can't
shadowy-
tell which one the real one is, kind
Well,
of thing.
rules as intended, if you're using flanking, the echo is technically an object and not a creature.
Right.
Right. I
Yeah.
think that makes sense.
That's so rude.
I like the thematicness of it, of being able to do that, but I feel like it's just too powerful because you would never not have advantage on your attacks, right?
No, you're right.
Sometimes your player will just get 3 natural 20s out of
Whoa.
6 attacks that all hit.
Whoa.
And then they'll deal 147 damage to one person
To the
who
main
also
villain.
happens to be your main villain. And then your DM starts crying in the middle of the game and has to pretend like everything's okay.
Even
Yeah,
if we
That's just a
killed
weird scenario. I'm
Strahd
so
there,
sorry.
even if we
Yeah, it
killed
didn't-
Strahd there, would he have permanently died?
Yeah.
No.
He might
Oh,
have,
wait,
Oh,
permanently?
technically yes, but the way I was playing it, no.
because he was in direct sunlight from the Sun Sword. So that might
Mhm.
that might be like one of those criteria for killing him. I don't know.
Yeah, that's totally not something that actually happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is hypothetical.
I looked at on one attack last session. You got 96 damage on one crit.
Okay.
That's terrifying.
So we did talk about being able to do some like not magical item shopping per se. I think I told you guys you could source anything like uncommon and below in here if there was anything you needed that you didn't have. And like I said, everything is just double the cost here. So if you want to buy anything, double the cost and then you can get it. We had talked about you being able to get some of your spell components for Zeke, so make sure you want to pick those up now. Feel free.
Sure thing. Are we splitting the gold and platinum equally, by the way? Guys?
Yeah.
Why?
Okay.
Why wouldn't we?
Ava?
Ava's just holding on to it because she has the bag of holding.
We calculated how much this gold weighed, and it was like 30,000 pounds or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Like, there's no legit way that you guys can carry that much treasure out, but I'm not running the kind of game where I care about like micromanaging all that weight. So
Windwalk.
yeah.
All right, so we're not going to keep
it all in the whale's mouth, and then we windwalk.
Okay, so we need to divide the 77,000 and the 31,000. So has someone already done that?
It's 79,860 because we had the other money in the pool too.
Oh, okay.
Think of
30.
more
So everyone gets 6,200 plat. That's normal. Then I need to fix this. 400, remove.
Yep, it'd be
Okay.
15,972 on the gold.
Each?
So,
We're-
Can you type that in chat, please?
yeah, the whole shebang.
Sure
I'm
thing.
over carrying capacity, so let me turn off gold encumbrance.
I don't think there's a character in the world that could carry that much gold and not be over carrying capacity.
I don't know. Whales can eat a lot of plankton, so hear me out, right?
Well, that is true because as you're gargantuan, there's like a multiplier to your carrying capacity. Every time you go up a
Mhm.
size, it multiplies. So it might be
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah, Valthor used that indiscriminately, probably
Yes.
too much.
Until your DM tells you can't flip over a table.
Oh, I was so pissed.
Okay.
I demanded to know the weight of the table. I was like, tell me how heavy this table is. Why can't I do it?
No, fuck you.
Eyes of
That's
Minute
about right.
Seeing. What is the cost for that in the document?
Let me pull it up.
Oh, you didn't look. Okay,
No, I just checked. It was uncommon.
I pull it up right now.
All right, guys, I need 6 days. No, not 6 days.
So-
I need 48 hours. I'm going to read a book of Constitution or whatever it's called.
I
The book of
apologize because I know this is going to break your
Jazzercise.
bank, Hal. But the Eyes of Minute Seeing, the suggested cost is 150 gold, and since we're doing double cost, It's gonna cost 300 gold.
DM Steve is a tyrant.
Wow.
We should mutiny.
I apologize.
Yeah,
Mike,
you know what?
kick Steve out of his room and start DM.
Yeah, Mike, you're the only one with the power to do so. I will DM. You'd get rid of him.
Fair enough.
We are using for all the people that might be watching. We are using a document called the Discerning Merchant's Price Guide as our base prices for magical items, which is it's a decent starting point for magical items if you don't want to have to like figure it out. So I recommend using a resource like that if you need to.
Okay,
And some
those
health
are all
potions.
the components I'm buying.
Oh yeah, and health potions, right?
Just so that way.
You know, with this amount of gold, let's just buy
You guys could just go home and retire and live the rest of your lives
Yeah.
happily ever after.
Yeah, I think we're good. You know, I'm gonna turn in the Helm of Devil Command, the Battle Standard, and the Hammer, and just let's get rid of this shard. I'm just gonna get a real Holy Avenger.
You know what we could do with all the funds? We could lobby Asmodeus. We could change the world.
Is Zeke gonna carry Heroes Feast?
Yes, Zeke is going to carry Heroes Feast.
Don't forget to buy that. Is that what the crusty gem bowl is?
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta buy that.
Oh wait, they're consumed. Hold on, I need to buy 2 more.
I'll buy a couple for you.
I got plenty of money still. I don't use money for anything aside from this, so I appreciate it. But like, I don't have anything else I would want to buy. So
Just a bunch of crab figures. Are you gonna leave those in places like, hey, the alleged 5 have been here, and there's just a crab figurine sitting there?
hold on. Now I am.
Yep.
And you guys, I just love how like you guys went from like having like no money just a few weeks ago in your life to now like having like thousands of gold, so much so that you're buying like, I'll buy this bowl for 2,000 gold. Thank you, devil.
Thanks, Satan. I love it.
Yeah. You guys could probably go back to Baldur's Gate and buy yourself some political like influence, but I'll take
That's what I was saying.
I'll
We'll
take
just
the
lobby.
jungle.
I'm not going back to Baldur's Gate. You guys are welcome to go.
You said back to
Creates
Baldur's
her
Gate.
own house. Fuck you, parents. Even though she has a great relationship with them.
You're just going through your teen angst phase. You know, that's what happens every time you're on your like 8th bonus
Yeah.
Okay. So
Zeke is definitely be wearing the jade circlet at all times, just in general from now on.
So Shug, your friend who was previously a barb devil and is now a chain devil, I believe that was the promotion he got, is procures you guys access to the portal down from Stygia into Malbolge. And so you've handed him the book over. He sent it off to like be reviewed for authenticity and stuff like that. And so there's this kind of like ominous ceremony where within this like sort of ringed ice town, you guys are given like the highest honor and you are marched kind of through the town. So like as you go from ring to ring, closer and closer to this giant center tower, you start getting like very quizzical looks from all these devils that like you're kind of like in their turf. And these mere mortals are being given like a higher honor than most devils ever receive. So they are very, very like angry at you, but they're not allowed to show it. So there's a lot of like avoiding eye contact and stuff. But you make your way to this giant center tower, and Shug just thanks you for your service. You've done a great service to Levistus and to Stygia as a whole, and you're welcome back here anytime you need. Feel free to reach out and we'll see what we can do, because you are now in Levistus's good graces. So he tells you that, and as you guys are getting ready to go in, there's like a shot, right, as you guys kind of go into this like tower and you're about to go down to the portal. And the camera like pans up the tower and is going like higher and higher and higher. And then there's like this little like ice window, like, 30, 40 stories up. and it goes in, and there's this little room with a devil, a little like spine devil with a little like monocle on his eye, and he's holding that book, and he's really excited about like the secrets, right? So he's got the book laid out that you guys have brought him, and he's like tracing his finger over like the gold inlay, and he like opens the first page, and there's a loud explosion that like explodes, blows up the room. The window is like all you see is like fire blowing, not fire, but like, no, we'll say it's like this burning white hot fire that blows out the window and almost shatters like the thin glass made out of ice all over. So like a lot of eyes like go up into the tower. And as the smoke clears, you can see that this devil has been blown to bits. And as the book is open, all you see written inside the book is just an inscription that says, "Ha, you fell for it." And that was no. You guys very specifically never opened the book, so you guys never saw what happened. So it seems like maybe you guys were just pawns in a bigger game than maybe even you realized you were.
They expected us to be less trusting than we were.
So we cut back from that. Like you guys don't hear this because you're at the base of the tower, and what we see is basically a large pit. And the pit is like a 20-foot wide cylinder that goes down. And on the edge of this sort of... Well, here, I'll go ahead and just read this sort of like text for you. It's like, the pit descends down deep into the ground. A 20-foot cylinder plunging ever into the depths of darkness. Moisture collects against the stone walls. A slight dripping as the water seeps through the expert craftsmanship that holds back the pressure of the infinite ocean on the other side. Slick stones spiral down around the edge, with a large space down the center easy enough for large flying creatures to pass. Which I'm assuming that's what Marius is doing. You travel downward for hours before a change in sight appears below you. The stairs end within a floor, and a weird, magical seal seems to glow at the bottom of the pit. Just over 100 feet below this seal, you see the ocean floor and a bright, glowing portal lighting up the bottom of the ocean. This must be the portal leading you to the next lair, Malbolge. So you guys have, for hours, you've kind of descended down this spiral staircase. And from where you guys know, right, you guys were kind of like on surface level. So you guys have been going down the ocean. Like you guys are like literally under the ocean now. And you're seeing the bottom of the ocean floor now. And there's some kind of magical seal that is holding back the water from like flowing into it. And so what this tower has allowed you to do is like travel basically straight to the bottom of the ocean. And now it's up to you guys to travel the last 100 or so feet to the bottom of the ocean where this weird glowing portal seems to be your destination. So I think you guys could all like take a moment to look around each other, and this is like it. This is it. This is your transition to the next layer. This is the first time you guys are doing a portal transition, because last time you guys just took the boat down.
Did we give them back the ice shard pendant?
Oh yeah, the ice shard pendants definitely would have been given back, and they're not gonna fault you for the ones that got destroyed because they sent you to fight a fire breathing dragon. They understand that your ice shards melting in the process may or may not just be collateral damage. So, but you definitely would have to return the ones that they loaned to you. There was one I think you guys owned before you went in, so you would still have that one. Or who was wearing that one? Was it Zeke?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but mine got melted.
And then that one did get melted, yeah.
Well,
so
then
you could just
the extra
return.
One is on, yeah.
Yeah,
the extra one was on Saul.
Would you want to? Oh yeah, that's right. Because they gave one. You guys were each given another one because you didn't let them know you had that one. So that's fine. You can still have one in your possession, but especially seeing as it melted, you are aware that if it's exposed to like non-freezing conditions, it'll instantly melt.
I forget, how did we rule shape water? It only because I can freeze the water every hour.
But you need to sleep.
Right, but that's right.
You could do it once per hour, but then at some point when you went to sleep, it would finally wear off.
We need a bag of colding, and then we don't have one.
Bag of colding.
How cold is it in the bag of holding?
It's not a legit item. It'd have to be homebrew.
No, the bag of holding. I mean, how cold is it in there?
Not freezing, unfortunately.
You stick your hand in Ava's bag.
It's not cold enough.
Crazy.
So, it looks like you guys are about to descend. You have to swim 100 feet down through literal ice cold freezing water, right? It's literally probably colder than freezing water would be on the material plane, and yet somehow something here keeps it from freezing. So, what is your guys' plan to swim down?
It's not just a small bit of water. It seems like it just goes on.
Yeah, no, you've gone down this thing for hours, and as you're looking down, you could see that you got at the bottom of the ocean floor. So you can't really see from where you are, but once you drop down to the water itself, you are in this infinite ocean. It's not just a little pool of water. You were to look around, you could swim anywhere on this plane, even back up to the surface or something like that. To be perfectly clear here, originally I was going to have a fight at this moment as a guardian was guarding this portal to get to the next layer, but I'm kind of more interested in fast forwarding to the next layer than having you guys fight this guardian. But I was going to put a crack in here for you guys to fight, or not even fight, just get past, you know what I mean? But I'm taking that away because I want to get to Nina's character and the next layer faster.
Okay, so I forget who has it, but somebody has a cloak of the manta ray, and then I can breathe underwater. So we can go ahead and scout forward and try to find the portal, see if it's close enough to just make a run for.
Ava just hands Zeke the healing bubble she has in her bag.
The healing bubble?
Breathing
bubble?
I'm a crab.
I think we all bought one of those, didn't we? I know I did.
Nina was excited for the Kraken. The problem with doing the Kraken is that would burn up an hour or two of tonight, and I'd rather get to more pressing. I was gonna definitely do the Kraken if you guys didn't fight the dragon. That would have been the fight we did last week.
Is he gonna just kind of stare at Ava and just gesture to crab with his claws?
I don't know. Sometimes people can't breathe underwater. I don't know how that is.
Well, two of your husbands can. As Marius puts the hood on the cloak of the manta ray over his head.
Yeah, is that bubble big enough for everybody, or is it just one person?
It's just one per person. How do you fit multiple people in this bowl that is human head shaped?
How would you fit me in a bowl that is human head shaped?
I don't know. You can squeeze, I think.
I'm gonna start swimming out and looking for the portal.
Steve said it was 100 feet below the surface.
It's not hard to see. It's pitch black at the bottom of the ocean, and there is a glowing sort of swirling energy at the bottom. So there's no chance of missing it, right? But you're just swimming down. But if you want to just swim down, then that's fine. So Marius is putting up the cloak of the manta ray, which gives you a swim speed and infinite
of
breathing,
60.
right?
Yep. Breathing underwater and swim speed.
So there's no issue with that. And
here's the thing: they're not expensive. If we can buy whatever we want here, it's just twice as expensive. Then all of us can get a cloak of the manta ray because there's no attunement required.
Yeah. Especially because they say, "Oh yeah, the portal's at the bottom of an ocean." So you guys are like, "Oh, okay. Well, then I guess we should go buy."
So how about everyone gets cloak of the manta rays and we go wild?
I don't need the cloak because
didn't you guys already buy those bubbles that do basically the same thing?
It just allows you to breathe underwater, I think.
Cloak of the manta ray is 350 gold, so it's going to cost you 700.
Only 700, guys.
I love the visual of the entire party pulling up into Malbolge, all in the same jacket, and then there's just a crab.
Also, the bubble only provides 1 hour of breathable air.
Yeah, you only have to swim 100 feet down. So
okay. But it lets out into the ocean though. So like,
Right.
what if we're at the bottom of the ocean and we have to get to the? I'm just saying.
Oh no, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Marius is trying to play it safe, and he's trying to convince everyone else
I'm
to
buying it.
buy a cloak of manta ray because it's only 700. It gives everyone a swim speed, which you don't normally have, and if you have a swim speed, you can use your normal weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes fighting underwater easier as well.
Ava reluctantly buys one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no problem with that. You guys have so much money.
Marius has once again been relegated to soccer mom, but it's for the best.
Hey guys, we need snowshoes. Where are your snowshoes?
Yeah, I'm so glad I convinced all of you to do that, so you weren't falling off the ice cliffs during the ship fight.
So, you guys all have swim speed, so you guys are able to basically swim at full speed, like down, right? And it's only like 100 feet
60
down.
feet.
Yeah. So it's basically like one dash. You know what I mean? Like to make it. So that's fine. But even like making contact with this water for this short time is going to like incur like that freezing water check. So everyone give me a Constitution check as you guys dash. Now the DC is low. I'm making the DC on this only 10. I don't even know if it's possible for you guys to fail that these days. But because it's like a 6-second swim for you guys, I'm not gonna like put the DC very high. But if you didn't have swim speed, this might have been a tougher roll.
So Zeke's swim speed is only 30.
Well, it looks like it's taking
you need me to make 2 rolls?
2 turns.
No, I'm just gonna up the DC from 10 to let's say 12.
Okay.
You still have a decent swim speed.
Do we benefit from Marius?
Yeah, if we're all going the same speed.
Except for Zeke's not, because Zeke can't go keep up.
Zeke does not benefit.
We're going 60. Should have bumped the cloak, Zeke.
Zeke's
fine.
I rolled a natural 2, which becomes a 10.
Oh, perfect. Just what you needed. So it was possible for you to fail.
Yep.
Interesting.
Well, my con isn't
a higher
isn't
con
big.
save than Marius.
Yeah.
I'm immune from cold now, so I don't need.
Oh God, that's a good point.
Damn, Mike, just come out here.
Yeah, you're immune to cold now, so this cold, like water, doesn't bother you in the slightest. Okay. So, you guys swim down, you get to the portal, and you can see, like, as you're reaching it, right, you're swimming down through the cold to get out as fast as you can. The portal almost seems to be looking down, and it's a really weird sense for you because you're at the bottom of the ocean, you're swimming down towards this portal, but as you look through, you can kind of see like a ripply image of like mountaintops. And so I'm assuming you guys just swim right through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So here's what happens. Like as you tumble through the portal, you find yourself looking down on a cliff slope, impossibly steep. Looking upwards, you see rocky slopes appearing to continue on infinitely, and glancing downwards, you see the same. Your nose is assaulted with the stench of foul gas, like a decomposing corpse, and the sky burns brightly as if stuck in midday. However, no sun is apparent in the reddish-hued eye. And this is a big stark difference, going from like pitch black to like a bright light, like blinds you and hurts your eyes. It's like stepping out of a movie theater into the bright daylight and your eyes burn for that moment. Like that's like the sensation you guys all feel as you fall out. But here's the other thing too. As you fall out of this sort of portal, you find yourself in a free fall because you are like in the middle of the sky and you're tumbling down towards this like rocky cliff. And you kind of look up and you see the swirling portal above you. So at this point, everyone is now falling. I guess except for Marius because he can fly.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, where's Soul during this?
Making his Constitution swim.
He makes a con save as he goes through.
But Saul doesn't have a swim speed, right?
But he gets 90 feet, so it'd go down to 45. So it would take him 2 turns to get out. So here's one more con save.
Well, he has a 90 fly speed, right? But a fly speed wouldn't apply underwater. What's his walk speed?
30, I think.
Okay, so
he
still makes the save. He still rolled really high, so he wasn't underwater for that long, so he's fine. Yep. So Saul comes like flying out of the portal too, and this giant Pegasus is descending with you.
I'm gonna grab Ava, and then Saul's gonna try and get 2 people.
Okay.
Zeke is gonna start counting.
That leaves one person, right?
Yep, unfortunately.
Does anyone have any way to like slow? I just assumed this was going to be like not an issue. So how are you guys like breaking your fall?
Well, didn't somebody get feather fall from our last?
Yes, someone has a ring of feather falling, but I think it's attunement, so I don't know if any of us actually
Nobody
have it
attuned
on
to it.
right now. Right before we actually let me bring up Misty Step real quick.
Oh, you could probably polymorph into something that flies, right? Like not polymorph, but shape change.
Oh yeah, wait, yeah, wild shape.
Wild shape. You just wild shape into an owl or giant owl or giant
or Morthos. Are you still attuned to your polymorph hook, Morthos?
Nope.
Oh,
no,
okay.
I attuned last time to get the shield.
Yeah. Everyone looks at Zeke like expecting him to turn into an animal, and Zeke's panicking, like, "Oh God, what do I do? What do I do?
I'm looking at a little like small little pipe.
You blowing bubbles.
You have like you take a little piece of paper out, like reading the instructions on the bubble pipe. Wait, does this help me?
So downwards, as you guys are tumbling and now like kind of falling in a controlled way, you see a fast approaching a large net shaped like a funnel. So even if you didn't have any way to do this, you were going to be caught in this kind of net. Its ends stretch in 100 feet in each direction. At the center of the net lies a small, unassuming building falling to decay of time. A brightly lit neon sign on the roof reads, "Visitors, check." It says, "Visitors, heck in here," and the C on the check is kind of flashing in and out. Yeah, and you feel yourself caught. Well, I guess you don't feel yourself caught because you guys descend, but like you kind of like slowly descend towards this. This is like the first thing apparent. Like it's towering probably like 40, 50 feet above the surface of these cliffs. And it seems to be that this layer's visitor center is on a giant perch. So you kind of come to a stop. Okay, let me ask you this. You guys come into this lair, and the first thing you see is the visitor center. But since you guys are all flying and not falling into this cargo net, and you're not worrying about like tumbling, you could just fly around it and keep on your journey if you want. But do you guys want to go to the visitor center?
We had a really good time at the last visitor center, guys.
We should. I mean, we should check in. We have papers.
That's true. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. I just don't want to force you to go here, but that works for me. So as you kind of like drift towards this visitor center, around this time you start feeling the weight of the world like on your shoulders. Like, why the hell are you even here? What's the point?
Oh no.
Things are tough. It'd be easier to just lie down here, take a rest, and give up this silly quest. And as you feel these thoughts creeping in, like in your mind, like a shadow hiding in the corners of your brain, you're able to like shake them off and kind of like put your task at mind. But while you guys are here, there's this constant feel of like, oh, this sucks. Like, let's just give up, man. Like, let's go home. Like, you know, this layer weighs on you. This is kind of like something you haven't felt in the other layers before.
Yeah, as players, we know exactly what this feels like.
I'm not casting Windwalk twice.
It feels like 2020 on you. The visitor center sits upon a large adamantine rod hoisted some 50 feet off the ground. Large rocks tumble down from the infinite cliffs below, pulled down by gravity or some other equal force towards the lower levels of the lair. One of these large rocks smashes into this like adamantine rod, and the reverberations ring out, creating a loud noise, but not dislodging the visitor center, balancing precariously on top of it. Welcome, Alleged 5, to Malbolge.
Malbolge.
Yep, so now I can actually make the change here on our goodbye, Stygia. Hello, Malbolge. Hey, look, on our screen, we're now in Malbolge, and I highlighted that one. Thanks also again for those graphics work. Very cool.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just like the last layer, there's a big visitor center kind of like catching all newcomers, like, hey, come in, come in. Oh yeah. Malbolge. So as you kind of like stand outside this visitor center, from the outside, the building looks fairly run down. Wood paneling seems to be falling off the outside in random places, exposing the iron walls beneath. A sign above the door, glowing with magic, flickers in and out, with the sign reading, "Welcome to Malbolge." From outside, as you approach, deep vibrations seem to pulse from inside the guest center that almost feel like it's shaking from within your chest. And as you move towards the front door to open it, it falls from the frame as one of the hinges on the top is broken, leaving the door scraping awkwardly against the floor. As the door falls from the frame, the source of the vibrations become apparent. Loud music seems to be pouring out of this place. A small stage in the back of the room has a small band of imps rocking out, their music amplified by some strange magic through a small box. A small collection of about a dozen or so spine devils and a single bone devil thrash around in front of the stage, slamming into each other at full speed. A few humans and even a halfling seems to be in the mix, thrashing around as the spines on the devils lash at them, opening wounds. However, they seem to be enjoying themselves in the melee. As you glance around, there is no apparent check-in desk, though a large bar with a Cambion woman sitting behind it makes eye contact and smiles. Various bone devils, Avernus, and a single Narzugon sits at the bar, drinking from their glasses. They eye you up and down with hard looks, but none seem to make a move to be aggressive. The bartender is mouthing something in your direction, but the loud music seems to drown it out, making it hard to hear.
Is it, are they playing Rob Zombie?
Yeah, possibly. In my head, it was more like Dropkick Murphys, but I think metal could be appropriate here too.
Nice.
Definitely like a shitty punk. You're definitely in a shitty punk bar.
Ava tentatively makes her way to the barkeep.
Yeah. So as you get closer, she's like saying it louder, and you can kind of hear the words like over the loud music. And she says, I take it you're looking for the visitor's registration.
Yeah. Where do I check in with my group?
Yeah, she smiles warmly at you. She says, well, first things first, what can I get you to drink?
Shit. Ava, like, raises her head over to where the group is standing. It's like, guys, we have to drink to get in.
Oh, no, you don't have to. We're just offering.
We have to make an offering to get in?
Yeah, she's trying to clear, like, no, I'm just enjoy yourselves. Like, what's the rush?
I'll have the house special.
So she gives you like a little snap and a smile, and she kind of goes behind the bar and like pours some kind of like weird green liquid into a glass for you.
May Marius look around with his...
With his what?
If we drink here, are we going to be put in some type of fever where we're just going to want to party and go crazy and not continue our quest? Because that's what this looks like to Marius. Marius doesn't trust this at all.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead and make an insight check for me.
That's a 19.
Okay. It doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility, and you even find yourself like occasionally those dark thoughts creeping in, like maybe like giving up and just taking a seat here and enjoying the music. But you don't think doesn't seem tied to any sort of like drinking. It's not like you don't feel like you get the sense like they're trying to like trick you into staying or poison you. It's like the alcohol they're going to give you might help you along and like make you fall into this sort of like downward spiral of just giving up, but it doesn't appear that's like the intent, if that's to speak. She's not trying to like trap you guys, but she's not against helping ease you into that sort of position either.
Right. Marius will kind of float on over to Ava, and as the woman's pouring a drink, says to her, just so you're aware, I'm pretty sure whatever we partake here is gonna affect us more. I'm sure you can feel how this place wears on you. The urge to just stay here and be free and not continue might become more overwhelming if we drink whatever they're selling.
Ava stares straight into Marius's weird silver golden eyes and says, "Why would I ever drink something now they don't have to?"
Well,
Oh my god.
I mean, you drank all the wine that I. You know what?
Okay,
Never
but
mind.
that was a date, and I felt mean if I didn't actually drink it because you went through all that trouble.
Al totally like looks at Marthos and Zeke and mouths a date.
That's good to know. I appreciate you not wanting to hurt my feelings, but all right, just making sure because you did order a drink. Just
She was nice and asked,
cool.
so I felt rude
Yeah.
to not do it, and now I'm just gonna get rid of this somehow later.
Just hand it to the person next to you at the bar.
Just chuck it over your shoulder like you drink it.
Yeah. So
Can I
this
make a deck save to catch that drink?
you can, if you could try, yeah. So also like as you know, she clears up the confusion. She does kind of point toward, like she kind of like takes you, Ava, and she points you towards the back of this kind of like bar, and you see like way in the back there's like a hallway, and she says if you're looking for registration, like new visitor registration and customs, it's down that hall, and she kind of points you that way. Hal, can you do me a favor? Can you make a perception check for me?
Customs? Wait, I like magic items.
Was Glamour Weave available in before we went through the portal?
I mean, it's just like a common magic item, right?
Yeah.
Then probably, yeah.
Then I bought a scarf.
Okay. So Hal, you don't notice this, but all of us, like all the people that have high passive perceptions, so like I'm guessing Zeke and Marius and probably everyone except for Hal, and maybe not Morthos because you guys are having your conversation. The bartender is like very focused on you and like looking at you, like she almost looks like she's sizing you up. And you guys, all you guys with the high passive perceptions, like 20 and above, would definitely pick up on her, like kind of side eyeing Hal a little bit.
So that's Ava and Zeke because I have a passive perception of 12.
Okay, wasn't your passive perception really high at one point?
No,
when you had the
that wasn't
sword.
this
No,
character. It was always wisdom. It was always insight.
Okay, so probably Ava's face to face. I think Zeke would pick up on it.
I'm gonna turn to Hal then and ask, like, "Hey, do you know that bartender? I think she knows you. Is she like our contact here, or your contact here?"
I'll
Well, that's
glance
a
over at
good
the
point because you guys
bartender.
don't have a contact here, right? What did your packet say about this lair? Do you remember?
I don't. I'm looking through my
Okay.
million lines of notes.
Yeah. So like essentially, right? You were supposed to meet Red on the previous lair, but then Red was dead, so he never got to tell you anything. So like, you know, you have no idea what he was gonna like do with you.
I did. Didn't I pick up his notes when I was there?
You did.
Oh, yeah, Mike's got it in chat.
He said he had like a
here.
contact and stuff like that. And
Yeah, we don't have anything in this layer.
Right.
Okay.
We'll have a tough time.
So this is a problem for you guys because the other layers you at least had a clear goal, and here you guys are kind of like aimless. So yeah, so we have this situation going on with Hal and the bartender, and then who's going to go and do the registration?
I mean, Zeke will go.
Marius will go as backup.
Ava will leave the bar and go along with her husbands.
If there are any imps, let me handle them. I'm proficient in fooling them.
So it's like a kind of a small hallway. So you guys are kind of like almost like single file going down this hallway. So it was everyone except for, was it everyone? It sounded like everyone wanted to tag along.
Yep.
Okay. so as you guys are kind of heading back down that way, yeah, like after Zeke points it out, like the bartender definitely seems to be like eyeing you a bit, Hal. But as you make your way down towards the back, there's like a long, narrow hallway, barely dimly lit. And as you walk down the hallway, you're forced to move around a couple of humans making out against the wall, oblivious to the space that they're taking up. And then as you kind of keep going, and there's missing doors leading into terribly maintained bathrooms. One with a spine devil passed out with his head leaned into a large hole in the ground. And then there's a flickering light at the end of the hall. And you can see an immaculately maintained door with a sign in Infernal reading registration and customs.
Okay, I guess I'll knock.
Yep. So you knock, and you hear like a little bit of a muffled like come in from inside.
Okay, I'll open the door and walk through.
Yeah. So you open it, and it's like a tiny like office, like no more than like 10-foot square office. And you guys are about to pile like 5 people in here, you know? So it gets really tight and cramped in here. There's no social distancing. About like it's like a 10-foot cube.
All right. Marius is up above the rest of everyone else, so there's more room.
Yeah, you can notice there's like a lot of like foam padding on the wall, and once you guys like all come in, like as you open the door, the music's pouring in, and as soon as you like come in and shut the door, it muffles the sound a little bit, and you still hear like the bass through the walls of the band playing in the other room, but it's a little bit muffled. And the guy, this Amnesu that you're meeting is like pulling earplugs like out of his ears and putting it on his desk, and he's like, "May I help you?"
Yeah, we're just, we're new visitors to the plane, and we just wanted to stop by the center and make sure we get registered and see if there's anything we need to do to, get all our stuff cleared up.
Do you have your papers in order?
I believe so. Who has the papers right now, guys?
Marius or Zeke? I probably have them in Saul's saddlebags. He's in the hallway, so I'll go into the saddlebags and pull them.
Just go I think there's another couple next to him that's making out. If you could just move, push them away.
Well, I have.
Get off the horse.
No. See, Saul knew that was going to happen, and he's floating up in the air above them, so they are not trying. He was around when Morthos was having the sexual.
Yeah, you let me ride him. Remember, I rode in naked on him.
Yeah,
oh God, he did.
So it's not his first time around promiscuous humans. So
okay, yeah, but you can provide your piece. You've already taken care of this paperwork on the previous layer and stuff, right? So there's not it's not like, oh, you need travel papers and stuff. So there is still some forms to be filled out, but on the previous layer, you guys filled out a stack of paperwork that was super thick, hundreds of questions, right? Here, it's literally a single piece of paper, and it just says name, purpose for visit, and basically anything you need to declare. That's it. It's a lot less thorough than you might have expected. So you can fill it out in just a minute or two.
We will do so.
What do you put for your purpose for visit?
Passing through.
Fair enough. And so it's a 1 soul coin processing fee.
I've got a bunch. I think I have 5 on me because 2 are on soul. So I take one of the ones on soul and pay.
So you go to the soul and get the paperwork and come back in. And then, and then you go back out and dig, pass a couple again and dig out the coin. Yep. Yeah. Yep. And every time you do, the music blares because you got to open that door, and he's instantly covering his ears. He does not look happy to be here.
Yep. Too bad rods of silence don't exist.
He needs to be able to conduct his business.
Well, yeah, but okay. And then, every time I walk by the couple, I go, social distancing. Jeez.
Yeah. And so after he takes it, and this is almost a shock to you guys with how smooth this goes, because in previous layers there was so much waiting and bureaucracy and stuff. Here, within 15 minutes, you are checked in, signed through, stamped, processed, and you are basically given, you're good to go. You're checked in, and they just say be careful on this layer, if you're looking to pass through, you're going to need to get to. Hang on, there's the name of this. There's a fortress named Osea that is what guards the portal to the lower lair. But you'll need basically permission from somebody with authorization on this lair to grant you access.
I would ask, who might that be?
He says, I don't leave this office because I cannot stand this place. I have another 9 months to do, and then I'm going to get my promotion and I can get out of this hellhole.
Good one. Oh, you weren't making a joke. Well, good luck.
He doesn't understand. He's like, wait, no. He was being very serious. He doesn't know what a joke is.
Clearly.
So from here in this office, right, we cut back to like the bar, and Hal has like slipped away from you guys because you guys have all gone to this room. Hal, like seeing the tiny office, slips back away and kind of makes his way towards the bar. And the barkeep is definitely like eyeing you a bit. And as you kind of like approach, she leans in a little bit to you and she says, "You wouldn't happen to be Hallandar, would you?"
And I'll say in Elvish, that depends on who you are.
I have a message, and I was given a description that looks a lot like you. Do you know who would have, like, to prove it, can you tell me the name of the person that would have left you this message?
I go back through the number of people, contacts that I've had.
Do you want to make if you can either take a guess or you can make like an int check and see if you can come up with it.
I'm not going to make an int check. It could have been Red. It could have been the guy at
She
the
snaps her finger. She's like,
what was his name?
That was the one, Red. He left this for you. Hang on. And she kind of like goes underneath the bar, and there's like all this like lost and found thing, and she pulls out like an envelope, and she slides it over to you. And then she almost like is like, she hands it to you, but she holds it like a little too long, like almost like she's expecting you to like tip her or something.
What does everybody else have on the bar that they've thrown on the bar for tip?
Just
random coins.
Random coinage, yeah. No one's spending soul coins at the bar. Like some silver and possibly gold here or there.
I'll go ahead and pass the gold over.
Okay. So she takes it and she kind of gives you like a thanks, and then she asks, like, can I get you something to drink?
No, thank you.
Okay. Wait. Okay. I forgot. Canonically, can Hal read?
It depends on if it's in
Infernal.
But I do have the goggles that let me read.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's definitely not in Infernal. It is in English. Sorry, it's in Elvish.
Hal says one moment and then takes out a little tiny thing and then opens it, and there's a little tiny pair of glasses. Puts them on.
It's right on the bridge of your nose.
Yep.
Yeah. And so basically what this letter says, it says like, Hal, glad to see you made it through. I've made contact with someone who is willing to help us. She owes me a favor. Please proceed to meet Cersei at the Garden of Delights. Signed. And it says, best of luck. Signed, Red.
And then I'll ask the bartender again. Garden of. I'm gonna look back at the paper. Garden of what the DM just said.
The Garden of Delights. Yeah. She smirks and she says, "Oh, it's one of those kind of visits." If you were to head, down the cliffs for, a considerable amount of time, like she looks and realizes you don't have wings or anything, so she's like, well, on foot, maybe like a couple of weeks, you might be able to get there. But you're looking for there's a large post with a fortress on top, a giant billboard. I believe it's someone. Well, you can't miss it. It's like a tourist destination, so you'll see a sign that definitely lets you know you're at the Garden of Delights. But I wouldn't recommend walking on this lair because most people get crushed to death pretty easily.
I'll chip another gold and head back to the group and see if they've finished yet.
Yeah, that's about, you probably have to wait a little while longer, but then they come out within like 15 minutes from the back room with their papers signed, sealed, and ready to go. Again, with the loud blaring punk music in the background. So you can go ahead and catch them
step up and say, I'll hand the envelope or the thing to Marriott for him to have a look. Supposed to go to, and I kind of say it under my breath, the Garden of Delights. I'm not really sure. They said head down the cliff, but if we're gonna walk, it's gonna take like a few weeks. So that's at least 3 weeks. Maybe we should.
A few 10 days.
Look at Zeke.
Cloud it up.
2 to 10 days.
The worst part is because it was 5-10 days, so it was like 5 or 10.
Maybe we should cloud stride or whatever that is.
Yeah, cloud it up.
Wait, what is this place called again?
Garden of, and I'm like looking at the paper, Delights.
Yeah.
I hate this place.
Sounds like a nice place.
We know which
Marcy
direction
would
it's.
think that, Morthos.
He had his own Garden of Delights in Candlekeep.
Hey, now.
Yeah. Definitely seems like they kind of, the way they give directions is like saying like uphill or downhill, so they just say like go downhill and look for the giant sign. So
all right.
So it's just vertically below us mainly.
Yeah, it's not like quite vertical. I would say it's probably at like a 60-degree angle, like really, really steep to where like if you were on the surface, you'd basically, and you didn't fly, you would basically be like rock climbing everywhere you went.
I see.
Luckily, you guys are very high level.
This is the mountain layer, isn't it?
Seems
like the entire layer is a mountain.
That's what it feels like as you're standing here. It looks like you are just on an infinite like mountain that is like super steep. And as you look up, as far as you can see, it's like mountain. And you look down the hill and it's like mountain. And there's this terrible odor of gaseous, like noxious fumes in the air. It's perpetually like a red hued sky, but there's no sun. But this layer is brightly lit, so like no one has to worry about it. It's not like the previous layer, it was pitch black. This layer, anyone can see with regular vision.
What did you say, Morthos?
Oh, I was asking, was there no gift shop at this place either?
Ooh, that's a good point.
The last one?
This doesn't appear to have like a standard gift shop. It's just this bar and this like concert going on. The band is selling T-shirts.
Yeah, like over the loud noise. Maris is like, I think they had a choice between gift shop or bar and music, and they chose the other package.
So
let's do it.
Yeah, so you guys want to do assuming you want to have a more normal voice conversation, you could step out back onto like the outside of the landing and close the door behind you, and you still hear the vibrations like pumping, but your ears, you realized how loud it really was in there, and now your ears are like permanently damaged a little bit. So what would you guys like to do? Are you gonna use your wind walk, Zeke?
Yeah, everyone looks at Zeke. I heard this says we would probably get crushed to death if we walk over the next 10 days.
You feel like the vibrations because like at the base of the pole, like where it connects to the slope, a giant rock has crashed into it, and like this thing holds steady, right? It doesn't look like it's gonna fall, but you can feel the vibrations in your legs, and there's that weird loud crashing noise. And there's just like perpetual rock slides down below you.
Marius looks at Zeke with his silver eyes.
Don't look at me with those silver eyes, Marius. I'm married. I'm taken.
Yes,
will
we're
cast-
married to each other.
Scandalous. I'll cast Windwalk on everybody.
Okay, do me a favor. As you cast Windwalk, can you make a Wisdom save for me?
Oh.
Marius, right?
You are within Marius'
Yep.
range, yeah.
Okay, so that's a 24, 23?
Yeah, you're
23.
fine. What's your alignment, Zeke?
Neutral good.
Okay.
Reportedly.
So you're neutral good. Morthos, what's your alignment?
Neutral.
Marius, you're lawful good.
And with no choice on that one.
Hal?
Neutral.
Ava?
I'm so scared.
Chaotic neutral.
Chaotic control. Okay,
wow.
actually, Zeke, you need to make your check at disadvantage, actually.
Okay, it's a wisdom save, right?
Wisdom save at disadvantage, yeah. So just make a second one.
I rolled like a 7. I'm probably not rolling worse than that.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, you're good.
25.
So as these down, as the thoughts like that kind of like try to weigh you down, kind of come into your mind, you're able to push them out and concentrate on your task at hand and cast Windwalk. So you all are able to now shift into your wind-like forms.
Before I turn into a cloud, I do want to tell everyone else, hey, that was kind of hard. I almost didn't cast that. So maybe that's what this plane is. Instead of cold, it's like self-doubt or something. So just maybe we shouldn't rely on spells all the time if I'm like having a bad day, or if the plane makes me have a bad day. This is weird.
And then, yeah. You still have to use like an action to shift into your wind form, so you can have the conversation before. You can shift in and out at will, right? Up to like 8 hours.
It takes a full minute too.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure I remember how the spell works.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Ava?
I was planning on making some holy water, so in case we had to fight more devils, I could cast protection from good and evil.
Okay.
Oh.
Is that plan out the door? She looks at the group.
Marius hands her 5 vials of holy water. I bought so many.
Marius, where do you make these?
I would say I have to say if you bought them here, they definitely don't sell holy water in hell.
Oh, well, then I gave you 2 because I bought 5 at Candlekeep.
Yeah, you probably have Candlekeep, no problem. Here, I think that would be one place they probably wouldn't supply you with holy water in hell.
Oh, we'd have to find a really shady devil who sells holy water.
Yeah, but like
this coat, it has these like vials of like glowing water.
Also, like, you can use so to make holy water. What does that take? The ceremony spell. And you had ceremony prepared from the day before?
Yeah.
So I was gonna say, like the day you fought the dragon, if you had downtime, you could have made holy water with those spell slots in the night.
I just
leading
needed to prepare the spell.
You didn't have it prepared when you fought the dragon?
No.
So you could have done your spells in the morning before you went downstairs. If you want to spend any of those spell slots right now to cast ceremony and do that, I'll allow that. In addition, you want more than the one Mary's providing, is what I'm saying.
Nah, 2's good.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So then as everyone goes, so now it's time to shift into our wind and sail off towards the Garden of Delights. But as you go to make that shift, I need everyone again to make a wisdom save. If you are good aligned, you make it at disadvantage. You're all close enough to Mary, so you all have the bonus.
You said wisdom?
Wisdom save, yeah.
What's Marius' bonus? 5?
Yeah, what is your bonus? Is it 5 now, Marius?
5.
Yeah, so everyone has no problem with making this sort of save. And yeah, so just remember you have to do it at disadvantage for Marius.
I held the button down. It's weird that it didn't do it.
Yeah, but I'm you have plus 13. I guess. Yeah, you're fine. So you guys all feel the same things he was talking about, where you feel like the intense pressure of the lair trying to stop you from doing what you're trying to do, but you push through it and you all turn into your like wind form. And there's like a shot as you guys sail down the edges of the cliff. So just as a quick sort of like description, so now you get a closer look of the lair. So as you get a closer look at the slope, It looks like it would be quite an effort to traverse on foot. Built almost like a pyramid, large white stones of various shapes and sizes seem to be overlapped, creating a lot of gaps in cave that the daylight doesn't seem to penetrate. An ever-present rumbling echoes through the wind, and occasionally you hear a bang that sounds like reverberating metal that breaks up the monotonous rumble. You start to find yourself introspective, constantly lost in your thoughts. The world at times seems like you're watching from the end of a long tunnel, and it takes consistent thought to keep yourself focused. While your mind does wander, you feel yourself questioning your life choices that got you to this point. You think back to not too long ago when you were living your normal life, before this pressure and responsibility were thrust upon you, and you find yourself thinking, it's not fair. You find your mind wandering down this path before you realize again you're being sucked down that tunnel, and you snap out of it. The steep plain whizzes by beneath you, large tumbling rocks, picking up momentum as they tumble down the cliffs. It's at this point you realize why not much seems to be existing on the surface of this plain, as anything that would be built on the ground would be demolished in short order. Okay, so we're whizzing along down the edges of the cliff. And it's at your guys' speed, because you guys travel at like 60 miles per hour or whatever it is.
68
miles per hour, like just soaring down, not hindered by any of this. It's, you guys probably would travel at this speed. We're looking at probably like 5 or 6 hours of this travel time. The weird thing is, like, this lair seems almost desolate, right? There's like nothing. There's like not cities. You don't see devils, cities, camps. You don't see another person around. It's just this sort of like barren wasteland that in some ways harkens back to like Avernus. Much different than like Stygia, although Stygia was pretty empty too. But eventually you see what looks like a fortress sprawling atop a 40-foot adamantine pole rising up out of the ground, with high walls made of thick stone, battlements around the entire outside, and ballistas mounted atop the walls. This fortress looks as strong a defensible position as you have ever seen in your life. The only thing betraying its imposing presence is a large painted sign hanging from the bottom of the platform holding this fortress, large enough to be seen from far away. It depicts a human sitting on a strange flat chair, holding some sort of strange round fruit, with a large flower and a straw sticking out of it. Painted in warm, pleasing colors, the human has a smile that seems to look right through you. A sense of longing washes over you, causing your mouth to water a tiny bit, and you almost swear the painting winks at you. The words across the sign mark the unmistakable destination. Gardens of Delight. You'll never want to leave. A giant door on the front, with a ladder leading up the side of the 40-foot adamantine rod, looks to receive visitors. So there's like a landing pad for like all the people that fly. And so you guys would have space to like land and shift because it's just this minute of like you guys like shifting back out of your like form into the wind, right?
Yeah.
I just imagine everyone looks out, like there's like a receptionist at the desk. They look out and this like all these like mini tornado, like 5 of them, like just like appear, or 6 of them, I guess, with Saul too. And then instantly like this wind just kind of shifts back into people. It's got to be a weird sight for anyone that watches you guys transform back and forth, right?
So what happened to Saul when he tried to transform and he got an 11?
Oh, so did Saul fail? Okay, so Saul tries to do this sort of like transformation, and as you guys are transforming, you watch him. He's standing there with a glazed over like look on his face, just like dumbstruck, like lost in his own thoughts, and it looks like he's unable to like do anything. He just like is staring off in the distance, like just glassy eyed, just for like a moment. So he like basically that he would fail at doing the transformation, but he could try again, and he would probably get it the second time.
So it sounds like
yes, second time he would
get stunned.
It looks
like,
in your medical training and experience of he looks stunned for that when he tried to do something like that was strenuous and he failed. It looked like he was stunned.
This is an insane layer. Steve, what have you done?
Oh,
Yeah, let's get out of this layer.
He's having a good time, is what he's doing.
yeah. I mean, you guys all have like plus double digits.
Except for Zal.
But good thing you guys have strong willpower. As you guys start shifting back into your forms, and we can go into like the Garden of Delight looking for Cersei, who, spoiler alert, is played by Nina. I think going into the garden is probably a good point to take our break. Okay, so 7:45.
All right.
I wanted to get you to meet Nina before, but we started late, so I apologize, Nina. You've just been stuck sitting here listening to us gab for like an hour and 45 minutes.
No, it's been fun.
Just coming
I
along.
have a bunch of notes on everyone.
Oh, no. Why does that sound terrible?
It sounds ominous, right?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm learning so much.
So let's take a 15-minute break. We'll come back at 8 o'clock on the dot, and we'll do the last 2 hours of our session, including going into the Gardens of Delight and meeting our guest characters. So
All right.
should be fun. So let's go to the break. If you're here, don't go anywhere. We're coming back 8 o'clock on the dot, and don't go anywhere. This is Beyond Avernus ? In Malbolge. So yeah, see you guys. Welcome back from break, everyone. We're back here to Beyond Avernus. So when we last left our characters, they had spent, 4 hours flying through this like endless sloped landscape. And notice I did not try to build a hex crawl for Malbolge and make you guys make like 5,000 athletics checks as you climb down this. Essentially, like if you cannot fly, this lair is basically like worthless to you because you're rock climbing while being constantly bombarded by like giant boulders. So good thing you guys don't have to worry about that.
What if Zeke had not prepared Windwalk?
Okay, hold on. Give me
It's
a little
almost like
credit,
as if
Jordan.
the cleric didn't have guidance.
Brianna?
I mean, if you didn't have that, then we would just be doing like you'd basically be doing a lot of climbing. There'd be like a lot of like random encounter rolls and
Saul
dodging
and Marius would be watching everyone else climb.
It's interesting because I did allude to it in the that's true. I did allude to it in the thing. There's all these like gaps and stuff that kind of like lead to like caverns and stuff. So in theory, you just go into the like cave system and then do like the underground traversing, which is safer from the falling rocks, but more dangerous because it's like subterranean. But that's the way to get around if you don't have flying speed, is through this weird network of like caves. So there are ways. God, I miss that sound of rolling dice. I know I say that every
Whenever
week.
there's silence, I'm just gonna roll dice for y'all.
Clink clink. I also realized I was on the talking screen the whole time and nobody saw any of your rolls the whole night. So
Damn.
apologies to the.
We all got natural 20s. Good job, everybody.
Yeah, congratulations.
Good job on all of our natural 20.
But I did get rid of the ice transition, so I had the ice transition to go from scene to scene because we were in Stygia, but we're no longer there. So I'm gonna try to see if I can find like a falling rocks transition for Malbolge. But in the meantime, it's just a straight transition. But I built us a new screen just for Malbolge. So this is, I mean, I don't know if you guys probably can't see it because you guys are playing the game, but our viewers can see it. We got a nice Malbolge overlay here.
Ooh, that is nice. All right, now I'm gonna turn that off.
It's got like an orange tint to it. It's got like the overlay feel. Rick, I gotta ask this. You for each layer you have like the layer, and then you have like the face of that layer, like kind of in that little thing.
Yep.
What is this you have for Malbolge?
I don't know.
Yeah, what do you have?
Whatever I found as the. I forget where I looked it up.
honestly, I think this might actually be the Maladomni one, because the devil of that lair is like described as like a slug-like person, and that art definitely looks pretty slug-like.
Could be. I could have them mixed up.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing too is like there's as you have different editions of D&D, they change the leaders of the lair, so maybe this is like not like this definitely doesn't match the description of what I have as my lair ruler. You know what I mean? Maybe I was just curious because I thought I was interested to hear lore behind this character and where it came from, because it's different from what I pictured in almost every way. Anyways, I was just curious. So, yeah. Welcome to Malbolge. So, you shift out of your wind form, and you appear on the sort of landing pad here at the fortress known as the Garden of Delights. And as you kind of like peer in, like you have a moment to like talk amongst yourself about your plan or what you guys are going to do, but as you kind of like look in from the outs, you can basically see almost like a nice looking reception desk. It doesn't look dissimilar from Mahadi's Wandering Emporium or from the from the Infernal Rapture, the way that there was like a nice like check-in where everything was like very like low key. So you can see like a large reception desk with a bunch of like nicely dressed people with like big smiles standing behind the desk, like waiting for you to come in to check in.
So this fortress is not getting hit by falling rocks?
It's so the way that this fortress is built is there's like similar to the visitor center, there's an adamantine rod that goes straight into like the like actual rock surface, and it lifts up like about 50 feet in the air, and they build the fortress 50 feet off the ground. So all the rocks that are tumbling don't go high enough to hit it. It just crashes into the adamantine rod before continuing down the hill, the mountain.
Life finds a way.
No, I think we finally found a use for the entrance fortress, and it's to hit the adamantine rod and just bring this place to the ground. I'm just kidding.
Don't waste the fortress.
Or are you?
Surely, level 17, we have something that can do that.
Yeah, I would imagine you probably could easily put your minds together and cut through this adamantine rod that's holding up the fortress.
I have the shard of a god's sword, so it wouldn't take very long.
Let's the problem. We could just turn into terrorists. That would fix that.
Let's not. Let's go into the Garden of Delights. I'm sure it's delightful.
All you honestly think about this. All you would really need would be like the mold earth cantrip and enough time to like dig out the foundation around the pole, go deep enough until the whole pole like comes loose, and it would just topple.
Steve,
we can tell what Steve thinks about. Jesus.
Player Steve.
Welcome.
I told you.
So, you guys shift back into your forms, and you're standing here looking at each other and looking in, and the receptionist seems to be smiling and like, waiting for you like to come in, like who wants to go in and talk, or what are you guys even here to do? Like, you're looking for someone.
We're here to meet Cersei. So Marius will float on over and kind of beckon the group to come with him and say, hey, we are here to meet, and he checks his notes, Cersei?
Are you saying that to the receptionist, or are you saying it to your group?
I'm going to look at the group and then say, are we checking, like, what, is this a hotel? Is this a
hotel, or is this a hotel?
Yeah.
It, as like you say this, they say, oh no, this is a like a relaxation resort. Like, think of it like a spa.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
Somebody comes in from the side door, the like swinging door, and they got like a waiter's like butler suit with like a towel across their arm and a platter, and there's this tall glass of some kind of clear liquid that there's like a little bit of bubbles at the top, and they're like offering you guys like some refreshing drinks.
Sure, I'll take a refreshing drink.
Yep. So yeah, they hand the tray, and you can take one of the glasses off. It's like a tall glass, like ice cold to the touch.
I let Zeke drink first before I drink.
I'm like the king's poison tester, but not
Wait.
on purpose.
Also, when you like cross the threshold into the fortress, like all that like the terrible like gaseous odor that like is constantly bothering you, kind of is suppressed within the fortress, within the gardens, and so it actually is kind of refreshing. And you take the water and sip it, and it is sparkling water with a little hint of lime, like lime infused water.
Yeah.
Lime infused sparkling water.
Marius will check in and say, good day. Well, there's probably no night here, but good day. We are looking to join the festivities here at the spa. What is the cover charge to get in, and are there any extra charges once you're inside?
I see. You've dealt with these sort of establishments in the past. No, I assure you that there is no charge for our gardens here. However, it is very tight. I don't know unless you have a reservation or a referral. We probably don't have space currently.
We were actually told to meet someone. Maybe they've made a reservation for us. We're here to meet Cersei.
Cersei? Oh, hang on. Let me check. And they're like looking like through like filing cabinets and paperwork. And they're like kind of like whispering to the person next to them and looking. And they say, oh, yes. Cersei. Sure. We could have somebody like escort you to meet with her.
Sounds good to me.
Perfect. Imp Willie. And then like Imp Willie, like a little imp comes across the side.
I'm ready my pipe.
It's a different Imp Willie, but it is an Imp Willie. Like comes out, right? And then she says, "Can you please lead our guest to Cersei?" And the imp like goes like nods like you know like yes, come with me. And he's got like very happy like temperament. Like Imp Willie never has happy temperament, right? This one's like cheerful and bubbly, like come on in. And like he like opens like a giant like door into the grounds, and you know holds the door for you to pass through. So within the walls of the fortress, you can kind of see what it looks like now. The place is indeed designed to look like a garden. Large fruit trees provide shade from the sky, each tree blossoming with apples, pears, and oranges. The most dominant feature here are large pools of water, at least 50 feet long and 20 feet wide, like stretching. And there's multiple of these pools like within the garden. The water puts off a nice, cool shade of blue, making it take all your willpower not to like instantly disrobe and just like enter the pools. Scantily clad men and women walk around and smile at you. A handful of non-devils are here, humanoids that look fresh from Faerun. They lounge here wearing either silk robes or nothing at all, either submerged in the water or underneath the shaded trees. Each looks positively at peace, sipping fruity drinks from coconuts. And so, like Imp Willie's like kind of guiding you through, and you can see like this sort of small like paradise right in the middle of this weird kind of landscape kind of unfold like around you. It's not completely dissimilar from the bathhouse that you kind of started your adventure, you know, going to. The did it have a name? Did that bathhouse have a name? Who can remember?
Colts RS.
Like Colts RS. If anyone can actually remember the name off the top of her head, I'll give you inspiration.
I literally wasn't here for it.
And it might not have it might not even had a name. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't know if it did.
It's like an outdoor bathhouse, right? And so Imp Willie like kind of guides you through the gardens, and there is this like kind of like middle-aged, overweight man sitting in this pool of water, and kind of like crouched next to him is this like scantily clad sort of like woman who is like kind of like feeding him grapes from like the vine and stuff, and he just like looks like happy. And there's somebody like kind of standing right behind them, like overseeing it. And Imp Willie points at the person like overseeing these two and says, that right there, that's Cersei. So as you see Cersei for the first time, Nina, can you do us a favor and describe what your character looks like for everyone? What do they see looking at you?
Yes, of course. So Cersei, standing behind and observing everyone, is wearing a dark green robe that contrasts all the green and the red surrounding the garden. She is a tiefling with a red skin, silver long hair, and if you look really close, you get to see that she has gray pale eyes.
Very nice.
Nice.
So that seems to be the person, and like you, Cersei, you see this group of strangers kind of like approaching you.
Matching cloaks.
You guys all wearing the cloak of the manta ray still.
Yep.
Except for the
Marius,
crab.
Marius saw everyone undressed and in the water, and somehow he's just already naked. It's wild. No, I'm just kidding.
Morthos beat you.
Yeah. We know
What?
Morthos has the cast-off armor, so
Yeah.
Click. Good to
Martha
go.
Cast
looks at
off.
Martha looks at Ava and says, "I told you it was going to be nice here."
Tear away breastplates.
Yeah, so one of you can go up and talk to Cersei.
Ava looks
Or
at
Cersei, you can approach them too, your choice.
There are rooms designated for you all to undress. Would you like that? I see that you have breastplates over here at the corner. I could lead you to, though. I could send someone to lead you there.
I'm most comfortable, fully prepared for an attack.
And your friends. And then I look at Morthos and Marius who are undressing.
no, I'm
You know,
not undressing. I'm
Just for
Okay.
Nina, just for Nina's benefit too, since like she doesn't know your characters that well. Why don't you guys just give a quick description of what your character looks like? Especially, we've been through a lot from the beginning of the campaign to now. So, in their current state, give a quick rundown of what your character looks like and what they might be wearing. And I'm just gonna go left to right on my screen of like characters on this screen. So let's start with Ava.
Ava is like a pretty compared to the rest of the group. She's kind of short, 5'5", very pale, silvery skin, with long, straight black hair and sort of these like really dark eyes. She looks pretty human, as far as anyone can tell.
As far as anyone can tell, yes, that is a good way to put it.
She's human.
Marius.
Glance. So Marius is a 6'7" tall, giant humanoid in adamantine armor. So he looks like a tank, basically. But that's not the most interesting feature about him anymore. He has angel wings, and he's currently hovering about 6 inches off of the ground. Next to him is a white Pegasus, also hovering 6 inches off of the ground, and they're just kind of floating there. It's a sight. He's got a huge, like almost tower shield buckled to his waist. He's got a long sword on his other waist. He's wearing like a huge belt. What else? What else do I got? He's got a cloak on that looks like it's made for swimming. And he's got a glamour weave like small what did I say it was? Not a sash, a scarf. And it's like shifting these like bunch of different golden colors. It keeps changing, and it's like shiny. And yeah, that's Marius the angel.
Marius is pretty extra.
Yeah.
Morthos.
He's definitely incognito.
Yes, yeah. You don't stand out at all in hell. Morthos.
All right, so Morthos, 25-year-old male tiefling, warlock, about 6 foot tall, 175 pounds. You notice he's got one blue eye, one green eye. Even though he's young, got really gray hair. He is holding a shield that's made from a white dragon. And you notice that there's no metal on Morthos at all. Everything's natural. So his sword is made from petrified wood. And when he holds his sword, you see that there's like vines that come out and kind of come around the sword. Also, my tiefling horns have green growth around them, kind of vegetation. And that's what I look like.
What is your clothes like these days? What are you wearing?
Steve, please.
I forgot. Morthos is wearing nothing.
Yeah, right now he's wearing nothing.
Oh wait, are you wearing the new breastplate?
I am wearing the new breastplate.
Okay, so.
And I also have.
It's like this like almost like ice-like crystal material that's like see-through. It's kind of like clear with like a blue tint. So if you're not wearing shirt underneath, we just see like Morthos like nipples beneath the glass.
Yeah.
It's weird. They're like batter marks around where his nipples are. On that.
Interesting.
Then I got the cloak of protection, so I guess I do have a cloak on now. So
shirtless, this ice armor.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that way it's long enough so that you can't see my ass when I'm walking around.
Just barely though. Like don't fly under Morthos.
I never would have thought, but now I'll know.
It's a choice. It's a choice.
Zeke.
Zeke is a crab humanoid, a semi-hybrid person. Basically, he's probably a little taller now. It's maybe like 5'11", 5'10". He doesn't have any hair on the top of his head, but he still has the like stereotypical like gray beard and mustache where his mouth is. He has eye stalks that can kind of like rotate freely. His armor it's half plate, but instead of the metal, there are crab shells kind of used as the primary defensive part. Same with the shield. He's holding it's an Ankh, right, Steve? The Staff of Healing?
Yeah, it is like this weird staff that has this weird sort of like Ankh symbol on top.
That contrasts super heavily because it's this like obsidian black. I'm going down what else?
I don't know if Zeke ever made the religion check to know what deity it represented.
Asmodeus, right? I mean, I assumed it was Asmodeus.
Wait, Zeke didn't make a religion check for something?
I can do that real quick. Let's see.
Nope.
Oh no.
Asmodeus.
That's about right.
Asmodeus. Really.
Yeah.
And he's wearing a. I guess for how wide his like neck and head are, it's a comically small jade circlet that's kind of just like loosely, it's very tight over like too high on his head.
Perfect. All right, and Rick, or let's say Hal.
Hal's he's a male elf. He's got long black hair kind of tucked behind his ears and it hangs down almost to his waist. He's got bright green eyes, but his skin is very pale. He stands about 5'8", very lithe and physically fit, wearing dark, almost black studded leather armor. Interesting, the armor kind of ends at the shoulder, but then he's got these very tight-fitting undershirt. And it goes all the way down to his wrists. And as you sit there, his image kind of wavers, and it looks like the shadows kind of cling to him. That's Hal.
Very creepy. All right, and that's the alleged 5. So now you know what each one looks like. So sorry, not to interrupt your conversation, but was it? Oh yeah, she was offering you guys changing rooms.
You're all severely overdressed for an establishment like this. Had the receptionist not guided you all properly?
We just got here, but yeah.
We actually.
Who was it? What was the name of the receptionist?
Marius says, I didn't ask for her name, but I'm not going to tell you so she doesn't get in trouble.
I see. All right. She looks up at the sky to figure out what time it was. Keeps that in check to look at the schedule.
You look at the sky, and the sky has like, there's no sun, and it doesn't change at all, but you still look at the sky. Just that, like, yeah. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
You can tell the time here?
She has
I've
that
lived
feat.
here.
She knows
I've
it.
lived here for a while. I have an idea. See, it's either you're lost or you're, as you said, new here. How could we help you? How could I assist?
So we're looking for someone who owed one of our friends a favor, specifically. Do you remember an elf? He was an elf, right? I say to the rest of the group, a person named Red.
Red, you say? What about him?
Well, he was going to help us get through Malbolge.
In exchange for...
What? How? What was it in exchange for? I'm realizing now I know almost nothing about the actual goings on of what we're doing.
Red's a little tied up at the moment, and he sent us to you. We're trying to get to Domini.
Hmm.
And we were given your name.
Oh, no.
How is Red, by the way?
Like I said, tied up.
Oh, I see. All right, so,
I mean, she's
how
not
about
actually
this?
lying.
Nope.
Are we how about this? I don't think this discussion is appropriate for where we are at the moment. If you could give me a minute or two and then meet up with me at my office, then we could discuss further. Until then, I hope you enjoy really quick, and then I will see what I could do for you all.
Okay. Thanks.
So are you giving them permission to use the facilities?
Just really quickly. And then I'll tell Imp Willie to, watch them and to remind them to bring them to my office after 5 minutes.
Okay. So you get a 5-minute pass for this gym.
I like to imagine that Zeke
Everyone
starts
pick
taking
one
off.
machine.
Take a towel. Take those,
Take
soap
the
bars.
soap.
We just stand next to where all the towels are with the bag of holding. We just try and get as many towels in the bag of holding as we can.
Take some soaps. That's her telling you guys to take the shampoos and the soaps.
Gotta
While
get,
no one's
looking.
gotta get some of those apples and peaches too.
That's a good point, Morthos. You're in nature again. It feels weird to be. This isn't an illusion. This isn't Marius, you have true sight. So if this is an illusion, you would know. This is an actual functioning ecosystem garden here in the 6th layer of hell.
Yeah. So I go over there and grab a peach and start eating it.
Yeah, it's surprisingly delicious.
Yep, I eat a bunch. 'Cause every single time we've gone somewhere, food has been messed up in some way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it tastes like crap.
Yeah, no, here this might be the best peach you've ever tasted.
I like to imagine that between eating some of the fruit and then trying to take his armor off to take a dip in the pool in the little pond with crab pincers, the entirety of Zeke's time. It's the second he gets the armor off, it's time's up and he has to put it back on.
Yeah. Actually, game wise, that might actually line up perfect too. Because, it takes a certain number of minutes to take off armor and stuff.
Yeah, I don't have Morthos' fancy tearaway pants, so.
Well, actually, he probably doesn't have the tearaway breastplate anymore, right? Because he got the new one.
Correct.
So he actually can't just tear it away anymore. But it's okay. You can see through it. So
I thought that was a joke.
I don't
didn't
know.
You actually had
I
tearaway
tear away the pants. I just put my feet in. We didn't have enough time to go fully in.
Got it. Yeah, the water's cool, refreshing.
Got my feet in the water, eating my peach.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this place is relaxing. Kind of. It's not been that long for you guys since you were in Candlekeep, but compared to Candlekeep, this is 5-star resort, whereas Candlekeep's a Motel 6. Candlekeep's pretty decent, but this is literally built for luxury and for making you guys feel at peace and welcome as you can. So it's kind of, you probably maybe I mean, you guys can make it your mind, but after like the 5 minutes passes and Imp Willie comes to like take you to Cersei's office, like what is your reaction? Like, do you like maybe you don't even really want to go, but like you begrudgingly go, or like whatever?
Yeah, Morthos doesn't want to go. Like he's enjoying it. He's singing "Peaches" by the Presidents of the United States.
You're like, maybe we can go back to the bar and ask and see if they take requests.
See if they'll play that song for me.
Yeah, so Willie will come and get you guys and gather you up and guide you through like out of the garden, kind of like open garden areas and more towards like the hallways and through like a couple of like twists and turns, and then there is like a normal like office door, and he just says, just wait here 1 second, and he like knocks on the door and like opens it and sticks his head in towards you, Cersei, and says, I've brought them.
Let them in.
Oh, okay. And then he like opens the door and like does like a deep bow so you guys can kind of go into the office. But what would your office look like?
It's very fancy. It has golden drapes over windows that point out to nothing, but it has an overhead view of the garden, and there are lounge chairs that you all could sit at if you so choose. She's sitting behind a mahogany desk with like a president's chair while she's sitting on a president's chair, just waiting. She's standing up. She's not taking a seat unless you all take a seat.
So when the last one of you slips in, like Willie like closes the door behind you, and there's like the like ominous like thud noise of like the loud door clicking shut.
Saul almost gets locked outside, but then he sticks his snout in and follows in, and Marius and Saul are floating up near the ceiling.
Does he need to be in here, the horse?
Saul gives Marius a look, and Marius says, yes.
You haven't asked if he could.
He's not going to defecate anyway.
And if he does,
then I will dismiss him.
All right. Well, you all could have a seat. Who's the primary contact for Red amongst you all?
Zeke's eyes rotate towards Hal.
Yeah, everyone looks at Hal.
Yep.
Is Hal with us, or is he still tied up?
No, I'm here.
You, Elf. You're the primary contact for Red.
That is correct.
Well, if you could do me a favor, if you see him, could you call him a bloody git for me? Tell him that he sold me dirty for that deal he made. Anyway, so you all need passage to Maladomni, correct?
Yep.
That's actually a very big favor to ask. And as you all know, you are in the ass cracks of hell. Nothing in here is free, my loves. So I could grant you all passage there, but I do need your help achieving something, if you're all ready for it.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. What do you need?
I have a condition.
I am willing to listen.
After we succeed, we get 24 hours here in the garden before we go to the next layer.
Oh, that's very easy, sure.
Marius, why are you whispering that?
I don't
Morthos
want
looks
Saul.
at Marius and he gives him a thumbs up. Like Saul smiles.
Yes.
I don't want Saul to defecate in this room.
Where did
How are those
Morthos
two
like
things
hide the
related?
peaches and the apples?
What was
Is
that?
it just like in his pockets?
How did you hide your peaches and apples and stuff? The fruit you took.
Oh, I didn't take any. I just ate them.
Oh, okay. Yes, so in order for me to grant you this passage to Maladomni, I do need help seeking a prisoner. That's unfortunately making the grounds of this garden very ill. I've tried. I've sent many of my people to there. Unfortunately, there is a hindrance that I cannot figure out. So maybe you lot could help me.
you said there was a problem with the grounds. It looks beautiful, though.
Oh dear, it was much more beautiful before. If only you could have seen it. Unfortunately, a sickness did strike it, and because of that sickness, the tourists haven't come in as much as they did before. It's very unfortunate, really. The mistress isn't very happy.
What information do you have on whatever is affecting this place so that we know what we're dealing with?
Well, so far, all I know is that we do have to trek through a scaled forest. It's fortunate that you could float, and maybe your Pegasus or horse could float as well and carry your companions. I'm not sure about the everyone else. Most of the people that I've sent there, none of them really came back, and if they did, they all gone crazy. So that's as far as I know about the scaled forest. All I know is that we have to get out of this garden, scale through the scaled forest, and hopefully we can find the source of all this sickness.
This is where Nina's like, that's all that Steve told me.
Yeah.
So we have to garden in the garden and scale the scaled forest?
You go out of the garden and then, right, Steve? Go out of the garden. There's a scaled forest. I'm not sure how much of the scaled forest you want me to say.
No, I mean, you've given them the gist, right? You need them to do something or you're asking them to do something for you, right? It sounds like you want them to go to the scaled forest, and, I'm assuming you're accompanying them as well.
Yes, I would like to supervise them.
I assumed you wanted to do more than just talk to them for 5 minutes and play with them, right? So, so I assumed you wanted to like tag along with them and go to this scaled forest, which is it's not like there is this patch of forest on that is referred to as the scaled forest, and it's on this plain elsewhere. So you guys would have to travel there together. It's probably 2 hours away from here.
By wind walking or by walking?
Yeah, if only we had a quick way to get places.
Yeah, 2 hours by wind walking. Maybe like an hour and a half by wind walking.
Okay.
Except for I guess the big issue is, I don't think she can wind walk, but I'm not sure. But she can fly.
Cersei, not to be rude or anything, but
no, be as rude as you can.
What qualifications do you have to help us?
Oh, well, for one, I am the main caretaker of this establishment, so I'd like to think that the mistress finds me very capable of doing her bidding. Unfortunately, the minions didn't really do anything, and I find it best to just do it myself with your assistance, since you are asking something of me.
Of course.
Okay.
Saul looks at Ava for a second to make sure that wasn't a horse joke.
It is not a horse joke.
Yeah. So Cersei,
Yes.
How does this plane work? We were trying to cast a spell to travel here more quickly, and it didn't take at first. We were kind of concerned with the futility of life and all that. Does that apply to sleeping, or are we gonna have nightmares and just? But Jordan, what are you saying? I'm so lost. Oh God.
Are you sitting in one of the lounges, Zeke?
I thought we were are we not in your office right now?
Yeah. I'm just, I don't want to assume.
Oh yeah, I'm sitting down.
All right,
so except for Marius as usual.
Okay, so he's floating. All right, so Cersei pushes herself off the table and then walks to Zeke and then eyes him from head to toe. You had trouble casting your spell?
Yeah. I cast a spell to basically turn us all into clouds because that's how we roll apparently now.
Right. And then?
When I was casting it, it seemed kind of difficult. But then when we were all trying to turn into clouds specifically, we also kind of had that difficulty as well. And Soul here actually took a minute to successfully become cloud.
I look at him once again. I do a once over. What would you say your proclivities are, Zeke?
Crabs.
Crabs.
I try to help people.
So you'd say you're more inclined to do good than bad?
Yeah. Is there going to be? It's one of those things you can't avoid down here once you get deeper into the Nine Hells.
Well, that is one of the, I guess, caveats of going in deeper into the Hells. The purer, I guess, you are, or the more well-intentioned you are, the harder it is for you to move. There's one easy way to get rid of that disadvantage.
Is it to become less pure?
Or
is it like an apple or something? Because that actually sounds much easier than the one I listed.
To decide to not be pure is just so easy, right? You actually have to do, don't you think? I mean, this is one of the many, many journeys you'll do over here on the layers of hell. I mean, you're having troubles now. Might as well get rid of those troubles, eh?
Yeah, it does. It does sound easy, but it also sounds concerning. No offense, of course.
Oh, I'm not offended at all. I have to remind you all, you are in a place where it's very normal for people here to do really evil things. The man you saw at the pool earlier being fed by grapes, he's murdered a bunch of children back on the material plane. He's here for a vacation. I'm not, what do you say? I'm not perturbed by any means of any ill doing.
Marius motions to get your attention and asks as radiant light starts spilling from his eyes and wisping into the air. Are there any rules against attacking a fellow garden person?
A fellow garden
spa people? What do you call them? Yes, spa goer. Thank you.
A garden
person. Where we are right now is a haven. Everyone in here is protected. If you hurt them, then the garden, and actually the rest of the layer, might go against you as well. And seeing that you're with your companions, if you do care about your companions, they would be harmed too. So I would be careful about your actions, Mr. Marius.
Of course. Put the sword down.
Now, once they leave the garden and leave the protective aura of it, are they no longer under its protection?
Oh, have at it. I don't care. I only care about them while they're inside. But once they go out, oof, if you want to kill them, kill them. I don't fucking care.
Well, and so begins the rest of the campaign. Everyone else goes deeper into hell, and Marius just camps outside of this spa and murders all of the evil people as they come out of it.
Like a guillotine, just like floating above the door.
Yeah. And his sword gets stronger and stronger.
Oh, maybe.
I mean, you have to hit to do that, though.
Yeah.
Oh.
Man, Zeke's really, really going there.
Yeah, Zeke.
Good to know, because I only get one cast of Death Word a day.
Okay, Circe, I'm definitely willing to help you out, and I think the rest of us are too. I have a question though. I guess we came from Stygia. and we couldn't get a good night's rest. So that was an experience that was very draining and made it difficult to keep going after the first day or two. Is that the case inside the gardens also for creatures of good deeds, good intentions?
It's not just the garden, it's the actual layer. If you are inclined to do more well-intentioned deeds, then you will have difficulty surviving here in this layer. That is the nature of hell, my dear.
What about if I plan to lower your population density?
You're very brave, Mr. Marius. I've heard of what you and your group has done. Granted, it might scare some of the lesser evils, but you are deeper in hell right now. You're dealing with more powerful, more manipulative devils. So I could understand the confidence of having the ability to beat whoever you face. Unfortunately, confidence leads to arrogance, and arrogance leads to haste. When people act in haste, they often make mistakes. When you make a mistake, a lot of devils really take advantage of that.
We all have different jokes. All right.
Yeah, roll 20 chat. Just side jokes tonight.
Yeah.
Let's go take care of your problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
So Cersei, I cast that spell to turn us all in the clouds, and we can move very quickly. You can benefit from that spell, but it's gonna be a little weird. So
polymorph her into a mouse.
No, Jordan.
I definitely look Zeke from head to toe after he says that.
Yeah. No one's getting changed into a well again. Marius is over that. Also, putting a whale on this fortress that's on top of one adamantine rod, like, no, let's not unbalance.
Okay, so let's go outside first. Once you have all your stuff and once we're all ready to go. And then
Are you going to tell her, or is it going to be a surprise?
I'm going to turn into a snake. A giant constrictor snake.
Oh, that's actually very fitting for the garden.
I feel like if I eat, well, I guess I can't say this.
Marius is not cool with this.
I don't
Marius
know with this. I gave him I gave him a great idea. Very far with it.
Yeah, he's just taking it and run with it. You just see Marius up above everyone else, and he's just face palming so hard.
So Zeke is gonna turn into a cloud, 5 seconds of turning into a cloud, and then turn back, and then
So 2 minutes and 5 seconds?
No, I'm just God damn it. I really should have explained this first. So what's the specific term? There's a giant constrictor snake that's a monster it's a beast I can wild shape into. That's huge, and because it's a snake, I assume it can unhinge its jaw like normal snakes can. So I feel like that's the cheaper alternative to polymorphing someone into a rat or someone into a whale.
You plan on carrying everyone inside your stomach.
No, everyone else can turn into a cloud. It's like I'm carrying Cersei. And we have the whale claws, right? Steve let us slippery slope this.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whale didn't actually have to eat anybody. They just had to be in their mouth. And I figure snakes have very large jaws or mouth, whatever the terminology is exactly.
So Cersei, what this druid is proposing, to make it clear, is turning himself into a snake and eating you, so that he can then transport you easier across this lair. That's what you're picking up.
Tyler's over here like, well, when you explain it like that.
Yeah, that's what he's like proposing to you. I'm going to turn into a snake and eat you, and then you only have to be in my mouth for 2 hours while we travel across to it.
Yeah. And I also want to comment on the fact that a huge creature, the whole thing of it is huge. If we're talking about just its head, I don't think its head is medium sized.
So it should definitely be big enough then.
No, but I think it's smaller than that.
Also, when I gave the 2 hour flying time, that was 2 hours per like Cersei's wings flying. You guys could wind walk it even faster. Because you can go super fast. Let me check this. Okay, so you're talking about a giant constrictor snake?
Yeah, specifically giant constrictor snake. So I figure huge. It's very long, like it's pretty big.
Huge is two steps above medium, so you'd be able to do that, I think.
And then snakes in general, like at least in our world, I don't know about like D&D, but they are known for being able to unhinge their jaw and eat creatures that like physically looks like a Looney Tune thing.
Yeah. I'm just
that involves them going into their body.
Yeah.
Like down their throat.
You're also proposing that this very, I don't want to say proper, but very like serious person climb into your snake mouth willingly.
It's amnesia to do it.
Yeah. I wonder. Yeah, I wonder if
she does it. She's got to take an apple with her, though.
I don't know if husband one and wife only are gonna help persuade her to do this.
Fine. I guess
Cersei's gonna go to Zeke after hearing the proposal, put a hand on his cheek, and say, Druid, do you often like things inside of you? Is that why you're proposing this? That's very kinky, actually.
That's the first time he shut up since we got down here.
Are you blushing, Druid?
It's hard to tell with the new crab skin.
I see. You're just perennially red or orange.
Yeah, I am orange. Oh no. I'm supposed to be red. That's, I think. I don't really know other crab people.
All right. So how long could you make everyone else a cloud?
I think about an hour and a half left, right?
Probably closer to 4 hours, like, maybe like 3.5. Because you've been here for a little while.
All right. Yeah, 3.5 or so. There's an internal timer for these.
Well, and then I unfurl my wings. I could fly. It's just my stamina wouldn't last me as long, or your pace is just quicker than mine. There are limitations for your spell, correct?
Yeah. So I cast it on all of us, but to cast it on all of us and you would take a lot of power, and I'm probably not going to be able to sleep tonight. I'm probably not going to be able to recover my magical energy.
Oh, man.
Give me one moment. You all could speak to each other. Let me see what I could do about this whole sleeping arrangement that you all have qualms with. Give me 1 second. I'm actually going to talk to Steve real quick.
Marriage.
This is fantastic.
You guys were really traumatized by that Stygia, like, no long rest, huh?
Really? The spellcaster is traumatized by not getting his spell slots back. That's weird.
I know.
I didn't even get a short rest on Stygia. I couldn't even do my fancy druid thing. I was so proud of finding a way to optimize our stupid strategy. This is now the doubly superior plan, Brianna.
I'm so proud of that plan and how far we've taken it.
You may have been born in the plan, but I have molded by it, perfected it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Lord.
All right. And then I look at everyone.
She like closes her eyes and her eyes flutter as she talks with like a higher power or something.
Some deific figure.
Imp Willie's outside the door listening and like whispering with message to her head and answering her questions.
And then I whisper under my breath, "Thank you for reminding me, Imp Willie." All right, so you all are worried about your sleeping arrangements. Well, I could help with that. So, if you all want expediency, then that would be the exchange then. Maybe use up a little bit more power, and then at the end of the night, when everyone needs to sleep, I will ensure that everyone else would get a good night's sleep.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I regret bringing this up in general now. I'm just going to cast Windwalk again real quick.
Okay.
On all of us.
Sure. So make a wisdom save at disadvantage.
Oh, that's right. Damn it.
You do have Marius' bonus at least.
I don't know if failing this like cancels the spell entirely.
Oh god, a 31 and a 20. Yeah, no. Yeah, you like don't even like get phased by this like the dark thoughts, and you cast your spell, no problem.
Okay. Just like there's nothing happens after a minute. It's like, okay, the spell's done. Should we all turn into clouds?
What does it look like? Because it takes a full minute to cast this. So are you like rain dancing around the room, or like what is it like? What does a 1 minute cast time look like for your spell, Zeke?
Zeke basically walks in a circle around everyone he's casting it on, but sideways because he has to walk sideways now.
Crab walk.
Yep. Then after a minute, it just stops.
Crab dance.
No, that's reserved
like
for
a
ceremony.
crab rave.
Actually, also rereading the spell, it seems like when you cast it, everyone instantly takes the gaseous form without any action. It's an action to revert, but not to go into it, right? Like when you cast it, they're instantly turned into gaseous form. So a little different than I thought it worked, but so
I have to ask to borrow Abba's holy water every time too. God, Marius, can I use a little holy water? It's not going to be used up. I just need it to be around.
Nice. Like I said,
Marius definitely gave you some holy water. I don't know if you ever added it to your sheet, but he definitely already gave you.
He gives it back every time.
Stop doing that.
How much holy water did you give me?
1 bottle.
Okay.
You can definitely turn into your gaseous form, but I think the issue now is you cast the spell, everyone takes the gaseous form, and now you have no way to talk and communicate.
God damn it.
So I mean, is everyone just implicitly know that like you're following Cersei? Cersei, so you instantly become like a gaseous form. So like you just become a cloud of air, and you have a fly speed of like 300 feet now, right? Is that what it is?
Yep.
So
dash
like
speed of 600.
Yeah, you can't do anything other than like fly and dash, but you are like really, really zippy. But the funny thing for me is you guys are like these clouds. So your office is now nothing but like clouds. So like papers are blowing around, and like the whole thing is like almost like a mini wind tunnel, and like the door's closed, right? So like nobody can open a door in wind form.
I'm gonna painfully revert over the course of a minute.
I mean,
and then just speak to the assembly of clouds, just saying, okay, everybody stop. Cersei, just, I guess, rise higher as a cloud real quick.
I rise higher.
Okay, everybody, that's Cersei. She's going to lead the way. I'm going to open the door, and we're going to turn back into a cloud, and then we're going to just go.
Sure. So that's what happens. You all assume this cloud form, and you lead the way like out the hallways, up out of the top of the fortress, and like across the plain of Malbolge. I hate you guys, by the way, because now all I can hear is my bulge.
Malbolge.
My bulge. Well, given that we're at the Garden of Delights, it's not that inappropriate. Not that it's not inappropriate. It's not out of character for our place here so far. So you guys, take off, and this resets your timer, so it goes back to like 8 hours, right? So you have 8 more hours of this, and so you lead them like across the plain, like it's you're traveling like downhill a bit, but definitely off towards the side a bit. And what you guys definitely notice here is kind of off. It comes up, but there's this forest here, just right built onto the face of the rocks. There's almost like this cliff, so like there is like an overhang, and the forest is kind of nestled beneath the cliffs. So as the rocks tumble, they kind of like jump off the cliff and clear over the edge and like kind of land on the ground right near like the edge of the forest and like continue rolling down. So basically the forest is kept in check because anytime it grows downhill more, the rocks like crush it. And so it's kind of like kept into this little nestled kind of overhang in the shadows beneath the cliff of Malbolge. And it looks like it almost looks like a vine forest because the trees and stuff are like vines that come straight up and kind of like fall over, and they're all like thorny and like almost look like there's the vines themselves look scaled with thorns on it. And that seems to be why they call it the scale forest, because it's covered in these scale vines, so to speak. And it's very tight and packed to where you're basically like bushwhacking to get like push your way through the forest. But the interesting thing is the vines themselves, they're not super tough. So like any sort of like movement with your blade or pushing them out of the way, it's really easy to give, right? It's not like it's resistant. It's not tough to walk through. It's just obscuring your vision quite a bit. So it makes it hard to like see each other as you kind of are traveling through this densely packed jungle is what it feels like. So that's the description of this. Keep that in mind. That's the description of this place as you go through it. So you can stop at the edge of like this forest and like transform back into your shape. And you guys have arrived at the scaled forest.
Nice.
Okay.
So they're here, Cersei. You've got them here. What is it like? I guess they look to you because they don't really know why they're here, right? They've agreed to come with you here, but what is it? I mean, do you guys ask what are you doing here, or do you just let her like lead you into the forest, right?
We had an issue. Jeez, it was up on Avernus actually, where we were part of a side good deed, we were told, but it ended up being something that we could have been better prepared for. Do you have any information you can give us on what we're doing here and what we might be facing?
Well, at the moment, all I've heard is that whatever is causing the sickness around this layer is from a scab. I'm working with very vague and fragmented details. But so far, all I know is that it is here in the scaled forest. The scaled forest, and then I point down just to show them. It's filled with lice and ticks and worms. And I hope that none of you are allergic, because while the whole turning into clouds was wonderful, thank you for that, by the way, Zeke, from now on, we do have to go on foot. We have to look for the scab, try to peel the scab, if we could even get close at it, and go from there.
Okay. Imagine that Hal and I can probably lead the way, since these thorns don't really bother us.
Yeah, does it like does the like vines like warp around you guys as you walk, or what? Because how do you flavor your abilities?
For Zeke, at least, the kind of the thorns and then the heavy like greenery, like physically like gets out of the way a little bit, and then just closes in back behind him.
Okay.
Rude.
What about for you, Hal?
The area within like 3 feet of me kind of bend over as if they're bowing towards me as I go through, and the shadows like seep out from their stalks.
Ooh. What is that ability called you guys have?
Land stride.
Is yours called the same thing?
It's called. I've got
I think so.
Character sheet.
Actually,
Lens stride.
Yep. So you guys both have the same ability. That's cool. Jeez.
Ranger's weird.
Brianna's
What is
Getting
going
into it.
Jokes separate
on?
themselves.
It's the Gardens of Delight. They're
Garden of
corrupting.
the Gardens of Delight and Malbolge.
The bulge and like
5 minutes.
you guys are with a succubus right now.
Right.
Oh, that does explain a lot, actually.
I mean, yeah, she looks a lot like a succubus. Okay. So Zeke and Hal, why don't you guys give me a if you guys are leading, then survival check and or a sort of one of you with advantage, or each you roll your own. I don't know how you guys want to do it.
I'm not proficient in survival, but I do have +5.
Does Hal have like favorite terrain Hell Forest?
Nope.
Yeah, what are your
Hell
favorite
Mountain.
terrains? Actually,
Hell
the
Mountain, Hell
mountain's
Desert,
not bad
Hold on.
because
Hell
this is a
Arctic.
mountain plain. You're just not in that mountainous terrain right now.
Yeah, the whole.
Yeah. The rest of it though, like you're good. That's actually perfect.
Oh, these
This is a forest though.
damn.
Well, if someone's gonna do it at advantage, Ava can cast guidance.
I'll
Oh,
do
thank
that.
God! Thank God we have a cleric.
I'll do it.
Okay. Yeah, so Hal, go ahead and take that roll, and then Ava, as you go to cast guidance, make me a wisdom check, a wisdom save.
18.
18. It's enough to get off like the casting, but it's
Oh,
Rick, what are you doing with your 20s and 1s again?
So go ahead and add that guidance. I mean, it's also weird because you're casting guidance like repeatedly for like a long period of time as you guys travel through this forest. But I'm just gonna roll it together into one roll, of course. Yeah, 31. That's really freaking good. So so as you kind of like move through these like vines, like you guys are like following his lead. None of you guys are like taking damage from like the thorny sort of vines that like wrap around you, but it is like this weird ominous feeling like being here. Stepping through this place, the hard white stone of the plain kind of gives way to this sort of squishy ground. Not quite soil, but it definitely feels a little squishy to your feet. Almost there's a little bit of give to it, kind of like when you walk on like a pad or a mat of some sort. You kind of have that feeling like under your feet as you move through this kind of area. And
Like
so
when we were at the Scab in Avernus.
a little bit like being at the Scab, only actually, I mean, honestly, you probably get a little bit of that feeling of being in the Scab again, yeah. Yeah. Not exactly the same, but enough similarities that that's probably where your mind goes. And again, your mind goes back like, oh, why did we like literally bored our way through a literal Scab? It was disgusting. Why don't I just go home, take my hundreds of thousands of gold I've earned, and just live in peace and happy, and then you're bringing your focus back to like the moment at hand. So as you've managed to go through this, Rick, and as you're going through this forest for probably about 15-20 minutes, you spot what looks to be, there's no other way you could describe it other than a fairly large Scab just on the ground like ahead of you. Like it's probably like 6 or 7 feet in diameter. Just right in the ground.
Stop the group and kind of look at Cersei and point to that thing, and do you know what that is? Is that the door?
Yes. Zeke,
Yep, I'm here.
get closer to the scab, please.
Okay. I'll get closer to the scab, a few feet, and kind of turn back and start saying, like, is this enough? Or
Do I need to do sleight of hand or stealth to stop everyone from hearing Marius laugh at this interchange?
no, you can just go to push to talk on Discord, Jordan.
Okay.
Hal,
Yes.
could you also step closer to the scab?
Nope.
Oh, Hal, how much more persuading do you need? And then I get closer. And then, like, I draw my finger from, like, the shoulder to his back.
Marius from up above, because he's not walking, says, oh, you're barking up the wrong tree there, Cersei. That man's happily married.
But you
Didn't
say
stop
that.
him kissing that other succubus, though.
Exactly.
There are no limits here in Malbolge.
We literally cut to Hal being seduced by a succubus, like earlier in the adventure.
In the campaign.
But she doesn't know that.
No. Or does she? Maybe all succubi talk. I don't know.
Wow. Just talking about a whole group of people. Jeez, DM Steve.
It's true. But I just find it hilarious. You're
people.
like, you're barking up the wrong tree, and we cut to like Hal being seduced by a succubus.
From earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Oh, that was last season.
So,
so I guess it was.
Yeah, we cut back to this moment. So she's trying to persuade you, Hal.
I will quickly grab my bow, and I will teleport 10 feet away, and I'll shoot into the ground between her legs.
Ooh.
Was that supposed to intimidate me or turn me on?
Actually,
either way,
Hal, as you go to do that, make a wisdom check. Wisdom save. Sorry, wisdom save.
A wisdom save?
Yeah, wisdom save.
Mm. 11.
You're unable. You sit there with a glazed over look on your face, and you're trying to do it, and then you're stunned, and you absolutely are not able to do that action.
Am I not above the group?
I don't think there's a way for you to be within 10 feet of everyone, especially because you're flying above everyone. And we've kind of like split out. Like Hal's like leading, and you guys are in this thing. So no, I don't think you're within 10 feet of Hal at this point.
Okay.
So you try to do that, Hal. You see yourself teleporting away and shooting, and it doesn't work. So Cersei, you see him like with a dumb look on his face as he is stunned, just like staring at you while you're tracing your finger across his face. You can tell what's going on.
You're very endearing. And then I look at Ava, Marius, and Morthos. All right. The rest of the group, let's come in here.
It only lasts for 6 seconds, and you shake it off, Hal.
What are we doing?
Let's all please walk to the scab.
What was the point of doing it one at a time?
Just an experiment.
I'd like to pull out my bag of tricks and get and use one of it and hope it's a crab.
Sure.
Does the bag need to do a wisdom save?
To activate the bag and pull it out and throw it? Yeah, you need to make a wisdom save. At disadvantage.
21.
Okay. Yeah, you no problem. You dig a thing out. Let's see what you get out of your bag of tricks.
Where is it? Magic items. It's not in here. I'm not sure where it went.
I put it under summons, I think.
Oh, summons. Okay, perfect. Thanks. Okay, please be.
I was trying to organize things so we didn't just have a long list of everything. Oh, you get a.
You get Pumbaa.
You get a pig,
okay.
A warhog.
I'll take. Let me double check. I think it's a boar.
It's probably a boar, yeah.
Pumbaa.
Yeah.
It's a giant boar, actually. Dang. Yeah, I will just. I'll just start petting on. Apparently, I have named this giant boar Phildrock Shatterfury. We will remember his name.
Okay, so I mean, yeah, you're trying to get everyone to gather around the scab. She's trying to get everyone to do it.
I will shake my head and kind of walk over with the rest of the group.
I know that you all have reservations about me, but one thing about hell is that you need allies. Our intentions don't need to align all the time. Our primary goal, at least for short term, could, though. So, that being said, help me pick this scab off. And then I start picking the scab off.
Yeah, so you reach down, right, and you start trying to like peel the scab back, and you're like digging at it, Cersei, and like you cannot seem to make any, like it doesn't give at all. Like you're pulling, you're like digging your hands into it, trying to get leverage. It seems to be resisting all efforts you make to pull it up. You specifically.
Could I wrap my thorn whip around like one side of it and just start pulling on the other side?
Almost like a can opener or like a zip pull like thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you like use your thorn whip and kind of like target the scab and start like peeling against it. But like as you do this, Zeke, the like thorniness of your whip like hits the scab and it cuts through this thing very like easily. Like, and as you like start pulling it, it separates from like the ground beneath it, and you can see some like black like pus like ooze start dribbling out like and seeping away from that side of the scab where you're peeling it up. And Cersei, you see this. You see that he's actually making progress and he's able to open this thing.
Okay, so you just need us to rip off the scab? Or...
Yes. The sooner we do this, the sooner I could guide you all to Meladomni.
Okay. I'll
Yeah,
just
so
keep going then, I guess.
So Morthos sees it, so he pulls out his thorn whip that he has.
Mm-hmm. So you go to the other side and try to start peeling up the other end or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah,
once
you.
it's a word for Zeke, I pull out my thorn whip.
Yeah.
Do the same.
So you do the same thing. You're like, oh, that's easy. You go to the other side. You start trying to peel it out. It does not give for you at all, Morthos. You Thorn. You pull. No matter how hard you pull, the scab doesn't give.
So it's not so much the whip as it's you, Zeke.
Great. I'm like the guy who can get rid of scabs in hell. I must be in hot demand then.
So like Zeke is able to kind of like keep working around. It's a pretty big scab, so it's going to take you a while to like dig under it. But eventually you're able to like get almost like half of it done. So like someone could like lift up and just fold the top of the scab flat backwards. And I think as it starts opening up a bit, Ava from the edge, and Marius, like as you guys are standing off of the edge, well, maybe Ava, you got a high passive perception. You can see almost what looks to be like the edge of like a hand, like reaching out, like almost trying to reach out of the scab.
Guys, we have something trying to. I think this is supposed to be like a prison or something, and we're about to set some.
Marius already has his shield and his sword ready.
Mm-hmm.
Cersei, is this a good thing or a bad thing?
I'm actually very excited. Please, pick at it some more.
I hate this.
Okay. I'll guess I'll keep picking at the scab.
Yep. So
you
keep pulling it enough until like this like hand it's like loose enough that you see something start crawling out of the scab, and it's covered in this black sort of like ichor blood stuff, whatever it is that's in there. It's like very deep color, almost looks like it's covered in oil, and it starts like crawling out, and you can see it looks like a little halfling woman, no more than like 3 feet tall, and seems to be like crawling out of the scab and is like immediately like gasping for like breath and coughing up and just spitting out gobs of this black fluid before she's able to catch her breath.
Is this what you expected, Cersei?
No, but this is actually very exciting. Are you okay? Or is this making you feel comfortable?
I'm just very weirded out, and we've seen a lot of things.
So yeah,
I'm gonna go over to the halfling woman and offer her a flask of demon ichor, if that helps.
What?
Okay.
I mean, she seems like she's having a rough time.
You want to hand her a flask of demon ichor?
Why would you? What? I'm gonna do a divine sense because my husband's being an idiot.
Okay, yeah, you put out a divine sense. There are definitely
I've been faithful. What? Why did I say that?
Cersei is definitely a fiend.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the only ping you get. Well,
A fiend.
Sorry,
Fiend in the sack. What?
Saul is definitely a celestial, as well. But you don't get any ping off this halfling.
Okay, then I look at my husband and I say, "That's not a fiend."
You're muted, Tyler.
Just water then. Okay, thanks. I'll offer some water.
Thank you.
Yeah, so if you offer water, then she'll like take your she's got like black sludge all her mouth, so she takes your flask or whatever and puts it to her lips and takes a big swig, and when she hands it back, you can see like that like blood oil stuff like all like mixed in like the lip of your flask, and she hands it back to you.
That was a flask of the River Styx water.
Oh no!
No, we did not give that to Zeke. Zeke does not have that.
That's true. He probably would have drank it.
He would have drank
He
that.
would have
by
drank
now.
it by mistake. I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty.
And so she managed to catch her breath, right? You know, and then she like looks at you guys, and she's like, "Where are we?" And she looks like kind of confused.
Seriously, which plane of hell is this? 6? 7?
Malbolge.
We're at Malbolge. Dear sweetheart, you are on the head of a hag.
Oh,
Yes. Welcome. How long have you been sleeping in there?
I don't know. I feel like I've been trapped in a nightmare for what feels like eternity.
Oh, that actually sounds really fun, doesn't it? Did someone put you in there?
She starts like scratching her head, and she's like, I don't remember. It's all a little fuzzy. Did you say a hag?
Yes.
I remember I used to work for a hag. But that's about all I can remember. Do you have something to eat by chance?
She looks more like your kins. Whatever I give her might not sustain her. I look at everyone.
Mary's gives her a ration.
This halfling like takes it and just immediately like starts scarfing down like the ration in like in a very like non flattering way.
Slow down there, you might choke. Do you have a name?
My name is Belsi.
Belsi.
What, is there something wrong with my name?
No. No surname, no family name. You just ended up with Belsi.
Well, unfortunately, my halfling name generator didn't give me a last name.
Oh. Sorry.
It's not how they're naming kids nowadays.
Am I talking to Belsi or am I talking to Steve?
Let's see. Her name is Belsi Grasswisk.
Okay.
Belsi Grasswisk. I say, I hate to trouble you, but maybe you have like some fresh clothes I could wear.
We're a bit tall for your.
I have some cold winter clothes if you just need something to wear.
Yes, please.
Sure. I'll give her my cold weather clothing meant for someone like 5'10".
Just give her the jacket. She can use it like it's a poncho.
That's probably pretty true, yeah.
That's really cute. I like that image.
Yeah. So she like she wraps like the poncho like around her. And she just looks at you guys kind of like a little bit confused. She's like, "Okay, so thanks for rescuing me, I guess. What's next?"
What were you doing in there?
I guess I remember something about being imprisoned, I think, it's really hard to remember. I mean, maybe if I had some gold, I might remember. And she looks at you, Ava.
Some gold?
Yeah, something to help refresh my memory. It's been so long. I feel like gold might jumpstart things.
Marius unsheathes his sword.
I put a hand on Ava's shoulder. Please keep your gold. And then I look at the halfling. You are wasting everyone else's time. You're probably imprisoned there for a reason. The mistress always does that. Is there any more information that you could give to me or this group?
She looks at you kind of confused, and she's like, I don't know what mistress you're talking about.
Ah, you are running my patience. Ooh.
Are you talking about the Countess Malagard? I've never heard her referred to as the mistress. She's the one who runs this place.
The hag, you mean?
Right.
Well, does anyone want to keep her as a pet? She's useless to us at the moment.
A pet?
Yes. Have at it. Feel free.
Is she the one we're looking for?
I don't think so. Whoever this is we're looking for would have a much more animated reaction when they see us.
Yeah, the halfling's like kind of staring at you, Marius, with your wings unfolded and your like sword like ready to go, and then she's like almost taunting you. She's like, "Get a load of the angel." Everyone knows an angel doesn't have the balls to. I didn't do anything to you. You would not kill me.
Elsie, I'm going to give you a little advice. My friend who doesn't like to walk over there is not an angel, and he's angry about half the time. Because in fact, his sword's out, I'd say, tails, so maybe stop provoking him. Would you like to meet my friend Phildrock Shatterfury, the boar?
The boar like is way bigger than her, right? The boar is a large creature. Yeah. She kind of like spits on the ground, and she's like, "Well, do what you're gonna do, I guess, or let me be on my way."
Ava kind of gives a look to Cersei, like asking what to do.
Oh, I actually have an idea. And then I look up at Marius. Marius, weren't you angered by all the evil people that were inside my garden? She could be one of them. Didn't you have a promise?
What evil have you done, little halfling?
I've spent plenty of time stuck in this prison, in this forest, and I've done nothing wrong. What are you accusing me of?
I want to do an insight check on that.
Oh yeah, give me an insight check.
Marius is also insight checking.
Go for it.
Not that he needs to.
Yeah.
Damn. Plus 15?
I got a respectable less than half, 16.
16 and 31. Hard to read for you, Marius. Like Ava, like it's not so much like that it's almost like this halfling is not gonna like play this game, right? Like it's not so much that they're hiding something that you can tell. It's just that there's no way they're gonna like admit any wrongdoing. Although the smile, the way that they say it, and like their demeanor, you're pretty sure this is not a good person. Most good people don't end up in this place in the first place, right? But in terms of knowing specifically what they're hiding, you have no idea. Just that, yeah. You've seen this kind of smirk on like sadistic people before. this person definitely fits the bill for sadistic personalities.
Ava looks up at Marius and just shrugs. I mean, she's not a great person by anyone's standards, except maybe for Cersei, but I don't really know what Cersei's qualification for bad person is.
Marius throws a dagger at the halfling's feet and says, "Good luck on the side of the mountain."
Okay, so you tossing like a little dagger like down, and there's a little like spark in the eyes as you see like a little bit of like shadows kind of like start seeping around the edge of her eyes, and she kind of looks at the dagger with like disdain and doesn't even like make a motion to like take it, but she will like kind of like walk kind of like in your direction, like kind of push through you guys back the way you guys were coming. It looks like she's gonna take her chances.
Well, that was pleasant. How many more scabs did you say there were, Cersei?
A lot. As I said earlier, we are on the scalp of a hag. And seeing all this lice in worms, I believe she's been, they've been, eating at her. So as with all bloods, or wounds, I mean, they do scab a bit. So this is one of hopefully not too many.
Marius says from above, on that wonderful note, have we done our death wards for the day or not?
I can't, so no.
Ava's gonna quietly cast Death Ward on herself. I'm assuming that requires a wisdom save.
Yes.
Yeah, Marius was about to cast it on her anyway, so he's next to her, but he watches as she casts it on herself.
Yeah, no problem.
I said, oh, wonderful. Come here, Zeke.
Okay. I really want to do something right now.
That's
It's
a 20. It's a 21.
You're good.
Nice. So I only have an 8th and a 9th level spell slot, and then I have 5th. So I know I shouldn't use high level spells right now.
We have no idea what we're facing.
But that's why I want to cast this ahead of time, because I can't cast it in combat.
Oh, okay. What is it?
You know, I'll just do it. This can't be wasted with what we're doing here. So I'm gonna ask Marius to come up to me so I can touch him for a crab rape ritual. That'll take a minute.
Well, he's got for a minute. Okay.
Not for a literal ritual spell, but it'll take a minute.
Okay.
And actually, I probably do my whiz save.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually, I don't know.
Marius is right next to you anyway.
I mean, yeah, you make
22.
it. Yeah, so
you have foresight on you. You have advantage on like almost everything now.
Out of combat, right? If we're not like in imminent danger, like I'm fine with not having us roll every time. Just know that there is this idea that you could fail when you're trying stuff because you're pushing through these like feelings of weighing down. But I don't want to like make you guys, because even if you failed here, you're just gonna cast it again. You know what I mean? So just
eat our spell slot.
No, if you fail, it doesn't seem like it means like you haven't failed, but like when you fail your wisdom save. It's like literally you spend that turn stunned, so you never actually cast the spell.
Oh, okay.
Okay. See, Marius now he can't be surprised. He has advantage on like nearly everything. They have creatures at disadvantage to attack him, and that's not concentration.
That's a 9th level spell.
Nice.
Yep.
Damn.
So I'm gonna hide behind you, Marius.
Hey man, you earned it.
In the event that something does get through to kill me, it won't kill me. So I think we have a good thing going here.
That's pretty impressive.
Okay.
Especially the fact that things that have the attack you have disadvantages. Like you just see all possibilities. It's like the whole layer just turns into the Matrix for you, right? Like all the code starts like you're the one.
Well, I mean, I don't know who here has seen Donnie Darko, but like I imagine that I see everyone for like a half second, their movements and their like the stuff they're about to say. I see and hear it like a second or two before it happens. So I'm getting this like precognition just constantly now.
Why do we keep messing with Marius's perception of time?
I don't know.
Damn. Brianna's trying to. Thanks. Hey,
That's
no,
that's
but
that's a crazy spell.
Tyler cast it on Jordan. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Jordan, you get to reroll everything, which is unfortunate because it'll still be a 2.
Damn.
But
Dang.
Thanks. You know.
you get foresight, but you have to use digital dice.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. You know what? I'll use digital dice because I got the foresight.
You don't have to. I was making that as a joke.
I turned on advantage everything on Roll20, and now everything has the plus sign, so we're good to go.
Nice.
Okay, that sounds kind of fun. Okay, so
just remember your wisdom saves against the things would just be a straight roll from now on, but everything else would be
oh, yeah, because he's good.
Advantage would cancel out. Okay, so I mean, this scab, you found a scab, Hal. Like you managed to navigate to the scab. It didn't seem to be the one that Cersei is interested in. So you know, if you want to give me like another survival check,
I'll give you advantage if I can do that again.
Yeah, you're doing the same. We fall into the same routine, right?
Yep. Okay.
And Ava, if you want to do a wisdom save to see if you can... Oh, never mind. I mean, you can still give me the wisdom save to see if you can guidance or not, but...
You got a natural 20 last time, you son of a...
Yeah.
Jordan, this is where all the good dice rolls when
So
roll
30.
20 go.
30 survival.
They go into Rick's pocket.
Hal's putting up Ava numbers over here.
Yeah, that's true. So we start navigating through this forest, like Hal, like trailblazing. So Hal and Zeke are the one like leading everyone. So you guys are like in the front of the group, like leading this, right? Ava would have to be right behind Hal to keep touching him every minute because you're like guidancing over and over and over, right? So you'd be with them traveling. So that leaves like Marius, Morthos, and Cersei and Saul. What is your guys' kind of marching order?
I'll be in the center.
I'll be at the back.
Yeah, I'll be the second to the back.
Okay. So it's Cersei, then Morthos, and then Marius floating, like kind of just over the top of everyone.
No, I'm basically above Ava and Morthos, and then Saul is next to me. So I'm trying to get as many people within my aura as possible because I know it does more than just the +5. I don't know what we're going to be facing, so I'm trying to take a protective position.
Right.
Overwatch, if you will.
Okay. So as you're making your way to the next scab, and you definitely find it because you rolled a 30, so you will make your way to the next scab. But this is the first time, like, in your thing, like, there's been wildlife, like Cersei said, there's, like, ticks, and there's, like, large tick-like creatures, and worms, and things like that. But, like, most of the wildlife, like, avoids you. Like, as you move through this place, like, it's very seriously, like, things give you, like, a wide berth. There doesn't seem to be like a lot of life other than these creatures. Occasionally you see like a weird like monkey that like is in the vines like above you, like watching you, but nothing's aggressive against you. And so as you guys are kind of like moving up through this tangled mess, this is the first time you guys come across something that seems to be like aggressive in nature. And it's hard to notice at first because it itself looks to be almost like a tangle of vines. And it camouflages very well within this vine forest. However, there is a creature right above you, and you guys, man, like at the last second, like not last second, but like as you're about to walk into like its ambush, you notice the threat, Zeke. Okay. And so I'm gonna drag you guys to this map. There's this weird vine-like creature. Looks like this.
Oh shit!
Let's go, plants.
That's awesome.
It's like Plant Simba.
It's like maggots all wrapped around him.
Yeah, it seems to be like it's like vines and like flowers and like this weird. It's this weird creature that you know it camouflages very well with the surroundings, but it seems ready to like kind of like attack you for being like in its territory. And so everyone, go ahead and give me initiative. Oh yeah, look at that advantage.
Still a 13.
Nina, you should have control over this token, right? The Cersei token.
Let me switch that if it's wrong. Nope, it was a natural one. Oh wait. He goes on my turn anyway, right?
I feel
That's
like I
what
don't
we've been
remember.
doing so far.
Yeah, then that's fine. Just keep it easy. Okay. So Ava, you're right behind Zeke, and like Zeke, kind of you and Zeke with your highest perceptions, you would probably notice this pretty quick. You're here. You can see it's hard to see because remember it's not difficult terrain because you can push through the vines and they give really easy. However, it's very hard to see, and things like ranged attacks have a hard time going through these like tangled vines and stuff. So just keep that in mind. Like things are like partially covered just from the nature of being in this forest. But Ava, it is your turn to go first.
Okay. Ava already used a 4th level spell slot, so she will just try out her shiny new crossbow.
Start of your turn, make your wisdom save. You are within Marius's bonus.
So that would be what, 17?
17? So yeah, you're good.
And she'll try to use a crossbow attack on this.
Okay.
I'm assuming at disadvantage.
No, not disadvantage. It's just gonna have like slight. It's a straight roll. It's just gonna have partial like cover from the vines and stuff.
Okay. 27.
27 hits. Oh god, look at all the damage types.
Good. You have 23.
10 piercing, 5 cold, 23 sneak attack, and 2 radiant.
Damn.
That's
I
a
got
lot.
a shiny new D6 for leveling up.
But
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's not resistant to any of that.
Nice.
Okay. So that's.
And bonus action hide if it's possible with all the vines.
You didn't get the sneak attack right, but you got everything else. So 17.
Yes.
Oh god, yeah, this is like your perfect terrain because there are hiding spots everywhere. Right? This whole battlefield is like a hiding spot.
Sick. I need to update that.
We're playing laser tag.
I still can't believe that the dragon managed to see Ava on a crit stealth check. That blew my mind.
It was amazing.
All right, Hal, wisdom save at the start of your turn. You do have Marius's bonus right now. Oh, we have some 13?
13.
Yeah, so Hal, your turn comes and like you're ready to like get into combat, you know, and then you just are like there's like a daze on your face and you're just like lost in thought and like you are spending this turn, you have the stun condition for this round. You don't get a turn.
This is rough.
Yeah, like this is me like finding some ways to make this hard on you guys, and this lair. This is kind of rough. That's hard, even with the bonus that Marius has given you. All right, so all right. You all. This is the time in combat where everyone like waits for Hal to make like awesome moves, and everyone just watches with this like slack jawed Hal like. That is rough.
Only a 32. Okay, good enough.
Where's the 6 water? Who gave him the 6 water?
Yeah,
he sealed that away.
Luckily, Marius can probably remove that. So just a heads up, this is still gonna roll with advantage because even if I can't undo the advantage without undoing the whole thing, so it'll just be the first number.
Yep, that's fine. Also in chat, Morthos, we have
Nice.
Yeah, you're good. We have that guy who's telling you if it's a plant, cast Blight.
Oh, that's right.
Marius flies up to this creature.
Okay.
And makes an attack.
Also, do you want to do a separate initiative for your pet? Or are you just going to run on your initiative, Zeke?
Oh, do my initiative. Make it easier.
Perfect. Okay. All right, so you fly up to this creature. 29 hits.
For 19, 3 radiant.
Okay.
$27 for 13, 2 radiant.
Okay.
And then
so you hit with the first melee attack, and as you hit it, it splashes back and it deals 1 point of poison damage to you.
Okay.
And you still want to go through with the second attack, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The second attack, you crunch in, and then you splash back for 3 points of poison damage.
Oh no, Marius!
He's gonna die.
Marius is down.
Question. Everything that we've been doing so far, does my Holy Avenger thing do anything about protecting against this layer? Because it's spells and magical effects.
Unfortunately, not the layer effects, no.
Okay. Because that would have given us advantage.
Right, yeah.
Okay. And then I don't know what this
As
thing
you
is.
cut through these 2 attacks, right? It has like this tangle of vines, and you notice that there's like vines with flowers on the end of it. You like cut through one of the vines, and like the vine with the flower like falls to the ground. And now there's only like 3 vines with flowers left.
Marius is going to test something. He's going to fly back to his position.
Okay. As you get 10 feet away, it is going to take an attack of opportunity against you.
Good to know.
It has disadvantage because of the foresight, right?
Marius is a
17.
monster now.
17 misses.
Okay.
And
Yeah, if
as
you ever
I-
got hit before, it's not going to happen now.
I return to the group and I say it has a range a little bit wider than normal. Just everyone a heads up, but it should be good for the rest of the combat. Good luck, everybody.
All right, Morthos, you start your turn in the radius. Can you make a wisdom save? Straight roll for you. Yeah, you're good.
22, very nice.
All right. And for that guy, Morthos is going to move up 5 feet. And he's going to cast Blight.
All right.
Damn, that's messed up.
Mine's lagging.
That's messed up.
Come on.
That's messed up, man.
It's
Nick.
upcast too, so I'm scared.
Oh, God.
Don't worry about the damage. It does max damage if it hits.
So a DC 21 con save. Okay.
72 damage on successful hit.
It
Oh my
fails.
god, 72 damage.
Terrible. So 72 points of...
Kill it.
Because it's
Necrotic.
max damage, right? Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Oh, it makes
If
it
it's a
save with
plant.
disadvantage, and the spell does maximum damage. So that's, yeah, so... It's 8. Oh, yeah, it's upcast, too. Jeez. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So you reach out with your blight, and you watch as you took all that, like, necromantic energy and course it into this thing, and the whole plant, like, wilts away and, like, turns to dust, and all, like, these, like, viney things with the flowers on the end of it all, like, wilt and, like, die at the same time, and the whole plant almost, like, crumbles into, like, a little puddle of ash, and you killed it.
Nice.
Damn, Morthos. You just want to
What?
shoot off... Oh, no, that was an Eldritch Blast. You just
No.
want to shoot off the other 3?
No, you notice I didn't say Maliki? I just shot
Yeah.
this out.
That's a good point.
72 damn. I gotta update that. Actually, no, Mary's crit shenanigans on the dragon is still more.
Yeah, so it dies. It goes to 0 hit points easily, and it's dead. Anything else, Morthos?
No, I guess I'll just drop back where I was, get back in line.
Okay. All right.
Morthos is just straight disrespectful.
I'm scared that we're still on this map.
Well, yeah. So that was. Let me just check something quick. Yeah, Zeke, it's your turn.
I'm gonna command Feldrock to basically go up and like.
Not yet. You're going to make a save.
Yeah, start your turn with
yeah,
a wisdom save at disadvantage.
I have a plus 16 because of the aura.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
okay,
that's
yeah.
a 24.
Yeah, you're good.
Let me pop off a little bit sometimes. I'm just gonna ready Thorn Whip if any like more of these plant creatures show up, and I'm gonna tell. Wait, the boar needs to make a save.
Yes.
Oh no.
The boar. It would be it's neutral, so just a straight save. Actually, oh yeah, the boar's good.
I'm gonna command the boar to basically just go and like protect Hal if anything pops up.
Okay.
That's me.
All right. Well, speaking of the devil, as you say, you're going to send him to protect Hal in case anything pops up. You feel like a rumbling beneath the ground, and in that moment, something does literally pop up.
Oh, that looks fine.
Whoa!
Oh my
They'll
god, I just
eat
ran
you.
one of these. I literally just ran one of these on Tuesday.
Did you?
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, so this large creature burrows up out of the ground, bursts from the ground, and like rock flies up, and you can see like as this like soft ground is like torn open, more of that like black oozy stuff like kind of comes out, and so it pops up and it does like this loud, scary sort of like roar. Pops up right next to like well, it probably would have gone for Hal, but instead this giant beast-like creature is right next to it. Fildrock Shatter Fury. So this thing jumps up out of the ground, and you were holding your action to protect Hal, so you can make an attack.
Okay, so that's going to be...
You could also... What's your range on throwing him? I think you could throw him a bit, too.
30, yeah.
And so Fildrock and you were both holding your action.
This is Fildrock's Tusk attack. And then this is my Thorn Whip attack.
That hits?
That doesn't.
All right.
So let's go 22. That's a lot of damage. Hold on. Hold on a minute.
Cantrips get really good when you're level 17.
Yeah, because
I'm talking about the Tusk damage.
No, it was 22 to hit.
22 to hit and then 9 damage, right?
Yeah, for the Tusk.
Yeah, so that hits. Okay, yeah, so you burst out, and then your Thorn Whip misses. Okay,
Fildrock gets in the way a little bit, and I get scared.
Yeah, so this thing's going to take a bite attack at Fildrock. That's a 31 to hit.
Yeah, that hits the boar.
Oh, okay.
Natural armor's 32.
That's 23 piercing damage. And then it has to. Can it make a dexterity saving throw for me?
Is it in the aura?
It is.
Yes.
9?
Nope.
Nope. So this thing bites on Fildrock, and you watch as this giant boar is like swallowed into Fildrock's belly.
Oh no!
So Fildrock's now blinded and restrained, and will take damage at the start of each of the bones. This creature's turn.
It can do. See, I did a purple worm, but this is very similar.
It's similar. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so now it's swallowed up in there. Yeah.
It can do damage from within, though. Just want to make you sure you know, Tyler. Like it's still in the fight.
And secondly, as you like try to whip at it and miss, its large like tail comes up behind, and it's got like a large bone like protrusion on its tail. It shoots a large bone spike through the air at you.
Is this a... I never thought I'd get the chance to ask this. Is this a beast or plant?
It is not.
God damn it. Look at it.
I am sorry. This is not
literally
actually
a beast plant.
This is classified as a monstrosity.
With all those bones.
That's an 18. You also have, since this is a ranged attack with the vines and stuff, actually, no, you wouldn't get cover from this, unfortunately. So 18?
It misses.
Yeah, no. So the giant spike misses. You watch as the spike like flies through the air and like impales the ground right next to you. You're pretty sure if that hit you, it would have like pinned you to the ground because it was no joke.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So that's its turn. Also, this thing has like super bony, like sharp protrusions on it. So you're pretty sure like being near this thing, you'd be cut up by it. So like going near this is going to be like a dangerous proposition, or getting cut up. You have to like dodge its bone spikes as it like moves around. Okay. So that's, sorry.
You said it was not a plant?
This thing is not a plant, no.
Yeah, it's a bone. There's bones coming out of it. Is there any way that we can make Fildrock like really thin to show that it's been swallowed? I just want that visual gag of just like, oh no.
A thin poop. Steve?
Like that?
There we go. Yep.
Steve, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Don't distract me with thin Pumbaa. What's this down here?
Yeah, a second one pops up out of the ground from behind the group.
What?
It pops up from right behind you guys, and it tries to bite Morthos. Morthos, that's a 28 to hit.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, you take 22 piercing damage, and I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
+5.
+5. You do have the +5.
Oh,
natural 20.
Only
So
26.
you get bit by it, but you are not swallowed into it. You dodge the bite. And then it with its ranged attack, and it does have disadvantage on this because it is in melee with someone. So it does a ranged weapon attack at disadvantage, and it shoots the tail spike at Marius. It had disadvantage because oh my god.
Yeah,
So that's
that
a
hits.
30 with disadvantage. So I think that hits. So that's 14 piercing damage. And the large tail bone spike sails through the air, hits you right in your like gut, Marius, and pins you to the ground where you stand, or where you were floating. You're now pinned to the ground with this giant spike pinning you into the ground. So you are currently restrained, and you can break it with an action, or the giant bone spike is an object that can be targeted and destroyed as well. So
okay.
Yep, you're pinned where you are. And then over here,
you gotta be kidding me. Don't you dare.
Another one of these pops out right here.
Wow.
And it's not going to use its attack like it was. It's doing something which is basically, well, no, I don't think it would do.
Why would you bring Nina on just to TPK us? That's rude. You're 60, you know that.
You always want witnesses to your crime.
Well, it actually started far enough away. It can't do its melee attack against you guys, but it can do the bone spike thing. So I think it'll bone spike this first target it can see, which is Zeke.
I am a crab.
But
I am afraid of being eaten.
Yeah, it cannot do, because it's reaches 10 feet. It can't hit you with its bite. Definitely not.
Oh, nice.
So that's 15.
These are the most Zeke and Marius being attacked by an enemy rolls I've ever seen in my life.
All right, Cersei, it is your turn. We're just gonna do one round of combat tonight, and end on this cliffhanger and pick up at the combat next week. So, but Cersei, you do get a turn.
All right, I'm gonna fly back and up. I'm gonna just fly 15 feet away,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna
Nope. Yeah, you're good. It isn't able to take an attack against you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
And then I'll attack it with my whip.
Okay.
That's 2 attacks. First one. Did it pop up?
Yes.
There you go.
It's whispering it to me, but that's fine. I can see it. 22 hits.
Okay, so that's 11 slashing with 41 psychic.
What?
Yeah. So let me just make sure this thing not immune to psychic damage. No, yeah, it takes the full damage. So it takes the full slashing and the full psychic. So you hit it with the whip, which is 11 slashing, and then it writhes around as you course psychic damage into it. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And then another one.
Uh,
17.
17 is enough to hit.
Oh, nice. So that's 10 slashing, 30 psychic.
Okay. You've done you watch her whip this whoopsh, whoopsh. That was a lot of damage.
And then I'll just fly up a little higher.
Yep, just out of the reach of these things.
Yes, sir.
Wait, how much was that combined? I think that's the new record for
52,
turns.
40, so 90 some, 93.
Oh,
I don't think that's the record.
Short of.
Nice.
Didn't Marthos just do 80 something damage with
now
one
you're
spell?
you're a friend now.
Okay.
Ava wanted me to prove myself.
On this creature's turn, you killed this creature. It dissolved into this pile of ash and stuff. At the start of its turn, it. Oh wait, let me see. No, I guess not.
Another one.
The creature gains. No, it's dead. Okay, moving on. That'll be then.
Oh, moving on, are we? Is that what we're doing here?
Well, this thing is what's called a bloom hydra, and hydras regenerate if they don't take a certain type of damage. However, this thing specifically says it only regenerates if it starts with 1 hit point. It's not the kind of thing that comes back to life. So it's dead. Yeah, I just want to make sure I didn't miss that thing's ability. So this thing is still dead, and I'm going to take it off initiative. Okay, we're at 10 o'clock, so we did 1 round of combat. We're going to end here. We're going to pick up at the start of next week, like at this round of combat with you guys. 3 of these bone spitters popping up around the ground and, going at you guys, where Hal is still like starting his turn in the stun state. But luckily, Fildrock took that attack for him. It could have been Hal in the mouth, because you would have failed your dex save automatically if you were stunned, right? So,
God.
Yep.
yeah. So hopefully you have a better roll on your wisdom check next turn. But yeah,
Maybe.
This is Jerk DM Steve throwing you guys at some bone spitters.
Oh my God! Did we get player Steve instead of DM Steve?
I think we
I
did.
think there's been a mix-up.
Player Steve? What? No, listen. This is gonna be a good fight. This is gonna be a good fight.
Good fight. That's the word I wouldn't use so far. No, this does seem fun. I'm just very scared.
Yeah, the idea was to the little Hydra, the Vine Hydra, what is it called? The Bloom Hydra. It was just, the bait.
A warm-up.
That's bait.
No, it was there as bait, right? Like to kind of draw your attention, and then the actual bone spitters are like the opportunistic things that have been, tracking you guys beneath the ground for some time, and now are popping up to get their meal. So you've seen lots of small worms, but now that you're seeing this big one, all these small worms you've seen crawling around, you can see that those tend to grow up to become bigger given enough time.
Steve, I'd just like to point out, this is 2 weeks in a row that you have denied me the sanctuary effect against plants and beasts.
I'm sorry, the
Because
Bloom
this
Hydra
thing
was
isn't
a plant.
technically either. Right, but he took 72 damage, like 1 before my initiative.
Yes, thanks, Morthos.
That was really cool. But it's Steve's fault, not yours, Mike. It's okay.
But yeah. So I think this is a good stopping point. I don't want this combat's gonna. I was kind of hoping we might have gotten to finish this combat tonight, but I was enjoying your guys' sort of role playing, feeling each other out, and having all the things Cersei was saying and doing, and seeing how you guys reacted. So that was fun for me. So thanks, Nina, for bringing some life to Cersei tonight.
No, thank you guys for. I'm a nice person in real life. I just want to say, can I bring that up? Just not really, like rude.
Yeah, but is it fun to play rude sometimes?
No, I'm in a role. I'm a method actress.
So if you see Nina this week, steer clear. But Nina, you're coming back next week, right? To play more Cersei?
Yeah.
Yep. So
Steve, you met me in real life. I'm a nice person.
I can vouch 100% that Nina is a nice person.
Oh no.
I was gonna say something snarky, but no joke. This is definitely not Nina. This is out of her comfort zone. That's why I think it's fun.
No, that was fun. Thanks, guys, for really, genuinely, thank you for tolerating it.
No,
It's been really fun.
Yeah, this is good times.
So next week when we start the session, we're going to hit the ground running right in the middle of a combat here in the Scaled Forest, which should be a lot of fun. Let's do some sign-offs. So actually, I'll sign off first. So I'm DM Steve. You can follow me on Twitter at Steve the DM. You can find me on Twitch at DM Steve. Also on YouTube under the same name. Come back on Sundays. We do Beyond Avernus on Sundays, which is a lot of fun. It's just us kind of doing really high level D&D and all the crazy shenanigans that come along with that. We're trying to see what max level D&D is all about. And this Wednesday, we're starting our new Pathfinder adventure path. So that's starting 7:00 on Wednesday. That is going to be with Jordan, Brianna, Rick, and Nina. So if you want to see how nice Nina really is, stop by on Wednesday.
Lol.
Well, I don't know. Maybe your new character will be also mean. Maybe you're just feeling out for that role.
testing it out, taking it for a drive.
Right. But anyways, I had a lot of fun tonight. So Nina, since you're our guest tonight, why don't you sign off and tell them, good night, like who you are and stuff. Since you didn't get to intro, you get to outro first.
Oh, it's such a pleasure being a part of this. I know it's a special game for you guys. Thank you for inviting me. No socials, but please catch us on Wednesday, and then make sure you guys continue watching them every Sunday, because this is a really funny group. Y'all are very quick.
I agree. All right.
That's probably the nicest way I've been called funny in a few years, so I appreciate it.
Brianna.
Good night, guys. Thanks for joining us. I have nothing to say. So.
Yep.
Good night. Thanks, Steve, for running this and trying to kill us.
For sure. I gotta challenge you guys. Rick, sorry for not giving you a turn tonight.
All good.
We had one round of combat and you failed that one roll, so you just sat there the whole
Yeah.
time twiddling your thumbs.
Yeah, I see how wisdom. I'm gonna have to bump it up in the future sessions. But no, I'm Rick. You can follow me on Twitter at Hallowed and on Twitch at Hallowed RPG, and I'm on YouTube at The Hallowed Hunt. Hopefully, I can make my save next week, but I doubt it.
I mean, +2, maybe. Marius, it is your turn. Sorry. We're doing by player, so Jordan.
Yep. They're one and the same at this point.
Yeah. We've crossed that meta threshold, right, with Foresight.
Yep. I don't exist on the internet except to retweet Rick's and Steve's tweets and
also K-pop.
Online notification. Look, K-pop is what keeps the world turning. Okay. Yeah, it's good to have everybody here and for us to have fun and to have these escapes from real life and pretend to be these ridiculous characters and thanks for putting it in text, Rick. I don't think anybody else got it.
Luckily, the audience can't see what Rick's typing because I'm not on the game screen.
Nina, you don't want to ask me those questions because we don't have enough time for that. Thanks everyone for coming. I hope everyone had a really good time, and I'm looking forward to see where this goes. And at one point we TPK.
I doubt it, but maybe. If I can knock one person unconscious, then maybe I've challenged you a little bit.
I mean, that's why we're death warding the two healers.
Also, the people that have their souls tied up in contracts.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Steve? I don't know anything about that.
Morthos. Sorry, Mike.
No, it was fun tonight, guys. So everybody out there, have a good week. Stay dry if you're in California.
Oh, that's true. And Tyler, who's not in California.
Yeah, I'm not in California. I'm in Texas, which is unfortunate. Yeah, everyone have a good week. Stay safe. Thank you for running the game tonight, Steve. Thank you for coming and playing with us, Nina. It's been really fun.
That sounds like I definitely was looking forward to having Nina here, and I had no idea how she was going to play the character, so I was just sitting like you guys, like listening, like, oh yeah, that sounds awesome. I want to hear more. So I want to see more from Nina next week.
Yeah,
so
we're very sorry that you're trying to play the straight woman to us.
It's true. That's a tough spot to be in, right? With this is a very slapstick silly group.
Yeah, you can relate now, the two of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan gave up a long time ago, trying to be the voice of reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just embraced it. Now Marius is sometimes an asshole and sometimes ridiculous.
You gave that halfling a dagger. Like that's terrifying in any capacity.
Yeah. Well, I gave
all genders.
Yeah. Marius, look, we want to find out what that was really about.
Jordan, there's a specific way. There's a specific way you say "look," where I perk up because I know it's going to be a really good out of context bit.
Yep. She was either going to attack us with it, and therefore Marius would have a reason to cut her down,
nice.
Or she was going to leave, in which case he was going to let the mountain kill her. And either way, his what he wants in life is being satisfied.
Look, she was armed, okay?
Look, I didn't plan it on her. She had it before I cut her down. Okay.
She had a knife.
She definitely had a knife.
Let me see what you have. A knife.
You know,
No!
you
I
could
don't
probably
know.
go back
Marius,
and be in the flaming fist and fit right in.
no, Marius doesn't like cops. Marius would end the flaming fist single-handedly.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. Marius has that tattooed on his left shoulder.
Nice.
His
Well,
only tattoo.
I realize now I also got to play in our intro, our opening crawl this game because I was so happy to get going and we started late. So next week I'll play our opening crawl. But I think that's what we're gonna call it for tonight. So thank you all again. Come back next Sunday. Thanks for supporting our channel and our game, and we love you. Don't forget that. Bye everyone.
Wear a mask.
Bye.
And
Wear a mask.
Definitely wear a
Safe.
mask.